落魄谷中寒风吹，春秋蝉鸣少年归。荡魂山处食人泪，定仙游走魔相背。逆流河上万仙退，爱情不敌坚持泪。宿命天成命中败，仙尊毁，而我不悔。
The beast skin map was very thick. It was unlike paper that could be folded and carried around easily. Fang Yuan could only roll the beast skin up and put it back into the bamboo tube, where he then tied up both ends of the bamboo tube with hemp rope and carried it on his back. The two hunters stared firmly at the bamboo case, their eyes unavoidably showing signs of greed. They were not idiots after all, they knew the value of the map. This beast skin map is something that Gu masters would not even bother looking at, but to mortals, especially hunters like them, it was the most valuable treasure. The Wang family had began to pass down this map since the time of their ancestors. Old Man Wang was able to become a famous hunter, his name known throughout the vicinity and beyond. The map had much contribution to this. It was truly an authentic family heirloom. I'm going to ask you, in Old Man Wang's household, is there anyone else? Fang Yuan's gaze was dark, his tone cold as he asked. The two young men kneeling on the ground shuddered immediately when they heard this question from Fang Yuan. They thought about what had just conspired earlier, and the greedy expressions from their faces disappeared in an instant, replaced with fear and terror. There is no one else. The entire family is dead, Lord Gu Master. Hunter Wang originally had a wife, but that was decades ago, and she was killed by wild wolves that intruded the village. Before his wife died, she gave birth to 2 sons and a daughter, but the oldest son Wang De died on the mountain while hunting 3 years ago. There is no one else in the Wang family. This was the immediate reply from the 2 young hunters. Is that so? Fang Yuan narrowed his 2 eyes and he looked at the 2 men kneeling before him, knowing that they were telling the truth. When one's life and death was in the hands of others, the probability of lying was very small. But he asked anyway, "Did you lie to me?" "We would not dare to lie even the slightest, Lord." "I thought of something. Old Man Wang actually also has a daughter-in-law, Wang De's old wife. But after Wang De disappeared, his wife died due to a broken heart. That year, the village even specially sent down a chastity memorial arch. But rumor has it that Wang De's wife wanted to remarry, and she was actually hounded to death by Old Man Wang. When you killed Old Man Wang, Lord, you are helping us citizens, rooting out the evil and bringing people peace." The other hunter quickly added, That's right. Actually, Lord, we have long found this old Wang unfavorable. HMPH, he's nothing special, just that he can hunt better than us. We're all just mortals, yet he thinks he's more special than us and purposely moved out of the village to live here. As the younger generation, we sometimes will ask him to teach us and impart his experiences, but he would just outright chase us away and never allow us to show up again near the wooden house. Fang Yuan listened quietly while nodding. Although these 2 started belittling Old Man Wang in an attempt to keep their lives, he did not sense any resentment from these 2 men's mouths. Fang Yuan guessed inwardly that these 2 men asking to consult for hunting matters should be fake. He surmised that they were just over to covet for the Wang family's daughter and her good looks. Yet in the end, they were found out by Old Man Wang and disciplined a few times harshly. Weeding out the wicked and let the law-abiding citizens live in peace. Enough of such bootlicking. This time I killed them because my motive was just for this beast skin map. Well, both of you have showed a satisfying behavior. You can both go now. Fang Yuan's tone softened, but at the same time the right hand behind his back shone with gloomy moonlight. The 2 young men kneeling on the ground felt surprise and joy once they heard this. Thank you so much for your mercy, Lord. Lord, your generosity and indulgence we shall remember in heart forever. They kowtowed on the ground, their mucus and tears overflowing. Sounds of dull knocking could be heard. After several knocks, they immediately got up and turned to leave. although Fang Yuan was younger than them in age. But after witnessing firsthand what Fang Yuan was like in doing things, they were beyond fearful and terrified, wishing never to meet Fang Yuan again. Hold it, just at this moment, a voice suddenly traveled over. The moment it finished, there was a swoosh, and a Gu master jumped down from a treetop. You both cannot leave, tell me what happened here. All of it. This Gu master that just jumped down was wearing a deep blue uniform, and there was a scarlet belt with a metal plate in the middle. There was a huge 2 word carved onto the metal plate. This rank 2 Gu master had a slim build, his 2 eyes slender. He wore arm protectors on his wrists, and his calves had sturdy leg bindings, his entire being radiating with a highly capable aura. This commoner greets Lord Zheng. The 2 young men had just got up with the intention to leave, but once they saw this Gu master, they instantly knelt down again, prostrating themselves in admiration while greeting. This Gu master was someone they knew. It was the Gu master stationed at the village. Every year, to reinforce their control in their surroundings, the Gu Yue village would dispatch Gu master down into the little villages and hamlets, stationing Gu masters there. This would also prevent the other powers from infiltrating, and at the same time strengthen their defenses on their borders. This Gu master named Zheng, he did not bother with the 2 hunters kneeling on the ground, instead looking straight at Fang Yuan, asking in a cold tone, I am the Gu master, Zheng He of the Gu Yue clan who has been stationed here, you are. Fang Yuan laughed lightly and stretched his right palm out, where the moonlight Gu was giving out a ball of moonlight in the middle of his palm. When the Gu master Zheng he saw the moonlight in Fang Yuan's hand, his gaze softened considerably. The moonlight Gu was the sign of the Gu Yue clan. This was something that could not be forged. This matter is simple actually. Old man Wang's second son offended me, so I killed the entire family off in anger. Those 2 can be my witness. Fang Yuan straightforwardly admitted with a bold and confident manner, pointing at the 2 hunters kneeling down at the same time. Fang Yuan was not lying, and these 2 hunters nodded in haste. There was no hesitation. Zheng he stared blankly for a moment before he started laughing loudly. You killed well. Just a bunch of measly peasant servants to actually dare to offend their masters. They deserve to be killed. But he quickly added with a change in tone, full of emotion and deep meaning. However, young junior, what you've done has also brought problems to me. Although old man Wang resides far away from the masses and stayed here alone with his family, they are still villagers that I am in charge of. I was sent out from the clan and stationed here in this village. This means I'm supposed to protect the villagers and be on the alert as defense. Now that you've killed these few people, the number of villagers will have lessened. During the examination at the end of the year, the clan's assessment towards me will drop. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, and he instantly knew that this Zheng he was using this as a pretext to extort money from him. He laughed and said out, this isn't so difficult. Senior, you just have to report the truth back. Just say that this entire family was killed by me, and it has nothing to do with Senior whatsoever. When Zheng he heard this, his eyelids twitched, anger rising in his heart towards Fang Yuan, who did not know how to appreciate favors. His manner of speaking became extremely solemn. Then I will have to conduct business impartially here. Junior, if you are not afraid of the clan's investigation, then report your name. I will record it in detail as how things really are on paper. His words brought a strong implication of threat. If it was any other youngster, they would have been frightened by this statement already. But Fang Yuan could see Zheng He's weakness from it, and he instantly said, then Senior shall report as how it should be. All right, my surname is Gu Yue, and my name is Fang Yuan. So you're actually Fang Yuan. Zheng He's face evidently showed astonishment for a while. I have been hearing about you all the time from my little brother recently. You thoroughly beat up all your classmates, extorting in front of everyone, getting 60 pieces of primeval stones each time. Every time my little brother speaks of it, he's always jealous of how you can earn money so easily. Not to mention that time when you gambled out a liquor worm and a mudskin toad consecutively. This sort of luck sure makes people jealous. Oh, right. My little brother is Zheng. You both should have met each other long ago. So it's him. Fang Yuan nodded and admitted, yes, every time when I buy moon orchid petals, I would buy them in Jiangya's shop. Ha ha ha, since this is the case then we both are acquaintances. Oh well, let's forget about it, this matter I'll handle it. When he said this, Jiang he clapped his chest with his hands, putting out the appearance of one with the spirit of loyalty and self-sacrifice. He was merely using this favorable circumstance. There was no way he could have really reported the matter. After reporting of such a thing, the clan's assessment towards him would still drop either way. You might as well just do a good turn to Fang Yuan. As for old man Wang's family's death, he could just report that they were invaded and attacked by a wild beast. It's old man Wang's fault for his unconventional ways of insisting to move out of the village, building a wooden house far away from the population. Zheng he was not afraid of the matter being disclosed. There was just a few mortal peasants around. Their lives were cheap-ass grass. Who cares if they died? Even if the clan found out about the cover-up, they would hardly care about such a small matter. But Junior, you have yet to graduate from the academy and do not have the Gu Master uniform like I am wearing now. If that Wang saw this outfit, he'd know about your status as Gu Master and wouldn't offend you. Junior, you are a smart person. Don't you think so, he, said Zhang He again. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed. Zhang He's words had implicit meaning and was actually warning himself. Do not run out of the academy and wander around for no reason, and you better not come to the area under my jurisdiction here after today to cause trouble and kill people again. In that case, thank you very much for your advice, senior. Fang Yuan cupped his fists in greeting, bidding farewell to Zhang He, immediately taking his leave from here. In the black of the night, the moon is shaped like a silver plate, hanging high in the sky, spewing its watery moonlight down. The dense woods lightly unfold their dense green leaves and branches in the summer wind. The waterfalls crash down as they flow, but the sounds are unable to cover the noises of the sandalwood crickets chirping about. Fang Yuan stepped onto the green grass, quietly approaching a mountain boar. This mountain boar had its head buried, puffing and snorting as it digged the emerald earth with its snout, rummaging among the soil and grass to look for worms. The wild boar was an omnivorous animal. It not only ate worms, but also stole bird eggs and was adept at hunting wild rabbits, mice, even venomous creatures such as snakes and scorpions. Fang Yuan crept slowly from behind the boar. Under the bright moonlight, the grayish-black fur coat of the wild pig could be seen clearly. Its body was strong and firm, the forelimbs short and rough. On its back was a long and stiff mane, while atop its ears were sparse fur that was erect like needles. With all four limbs on the ground, each foot had 4 toes, but only the 2 middle ones were digging against the soil. Its tail was thin and short, sometimes flinging about, chasing away the mosquitoes flying around. Suddenly it stopped digging for its meal, rearing its head up. At the same time, the boar's sharp little upright ears quickly trembled a few times. Although Fang Yuan had managed to stop his tracks in time, this mountain boar still found him. It immediately turned around and groaned out with warning sounds. Fang Yuan was not surprised by this. A wild animal was not like a domestic one. They were all very alert. Especially the wild boar, they had acute smell and could find bird nests that were often hidden very well. Even if this mountain boar did not hear any noises, when Fang Yuan neared around 100 meters away from it, it would be able to smell his body odor and will still be able to sense Fang Yuan's presence. Although Fang Yuan had 5 goo worms on him at the moment, the spring-autumn cicada, liquor worm, moonlight goo, little light goo, and the white boar goo, these goo were all not able to match each other and were incompatible. If Fang Yuan had a smell-lock goo that could cover up his body odor, and another quiet steps goo that concealed the noise of one's footsteps, he could completely and silently reach up to a distance of 10 steps away from the mountain pig. However, if he had these two goo, then Fang Yuan would have been keeping 7 goo worms. This would cause his primeval essence usage to be too great, and he would have difficulty supporting them. Goo masters in general can only feed 4 to 5 goo worms of the same rank. Thus, goo masters usually do not move alone, but instead form small groups of 5, or at the very least with 3. Among the groups, there would be someone specially in charge of detection, one responsible for advancement, one bearing the offense role, another responsible for medical treatment, and someone in charge of resisting and holding back hostiles. Fang Yuan continued without stop, getting closer to the wild boar. The wild boar screeched lowly, the white fur on its neck standing, the symbol of its agitation. Finally, when Fang Yuan was near enough, closer than the wild boar's acceptable range, the wild boar's hoofs dug the ground 3 times before spreading its muscular 4 limbs, lowered its head and dashed towards Fang Yuan. Its upper jaw was withdrawn, its lower jaw turning upwards, forming 2 white tusks. Under the moonlight, the tusks shone with light as it stabbed towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had no defensive type of goo worm, and if he was pierced by the tusk, his stomach would be penetrated, his intestines would be punctured, and he would be heavily injured if not dead. Moonlight goo. Fang Yuan's face was calm as he thought in his mind, causing the moonlight goo in his palm to absorb his primeval essence and emit an eerie moonlight glow, interweaving with the moonlight from the night sky. The wild boar charged towards Fang Yuan as his right palm swiped across the air. With a swoosh, the moonblade flew out and hit the wild boar in the face, causing blood to splatter all over. The wild boar cried out loudly, turning its anger into fuel as its charge became even faster, and in the blink of an eye, it reached a few steps before Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan nimbly jumped to the side, rolling and breaking his fall. The wild boar charged right past Fang Yuan, and with a boom, crashed into a tree behind him. The tiny tree was only as thick as a human arm. After getting knocked by the wild boar, it received devastating damage as the tree trunk tore open and split into 2. Fang Yuan stood up, quickly getting close to the wild boar while a moonblade shot out from his right hand at the same time. The eerily blue moonblade drew a straight line across the air as it landed on the wild boar. The wild boar's black fur had several thin cuts on it. The injury was very deep and bright red blood oozed out from it. The moonblade Fang Yuan activated used up upper stage primeval essence, thus it was able to break even a human's toughest bones in one shot. But on the boar, it could only cause such superficial injury and not damage the bones. A small wild boar like this was so strong. This showed how cruel the living environment was in this world. The wild boar growled and charged towards Fang Yuan again. In the process of sprinting, its blood-dripping wound continued to tear open, and its warm blood poured out like water. Fang Yuan used the same trick, taking a tumble sideways and dodged its charge. The wild boar, although strong and very ferocious, had one weakness. It could not change directions easily. Its speed was fast, but that meant it could not alter directions easily, so this way, every one of its charges is in a straight line. As long as a goo master is attentive enough, it is not hard to dodge. Boom, boom, boom. Every time the wild boar charged, Fang Yuan would shoot a few moonblades, causing its old wounds to be overlapped with new wounds, and the angrier it got, the more blood flowed. After a few times, its movement slowed, and its growling also revealed a hint of weakness. Little light goo. This time, Fang Yuan not only activated the moonlight goo, but also deployed his primeval essence and injected it into the little light goo. The moonlight goo, after being refined, had always stayed in Fang Yuan's right palm, turning into a blue crescent moon tattoo. After the little light goo was refined, it also resided in his right palm, turning into the shape of a five-sided star. At this point, his dark green primeval essence entered the two goo, the moonlight emitting an eerie blue moonlight, while the little light goo emitted a milky white glow. The milky white light fused into the moonlight, and the originally small lump of moonlight instantly became twice as big. Go! Fang Yuan's right hand swept, and an enhanced giant moonblade flew out. Using only the moonlight goo, the size was only palm-sized. But with the addition and help of the little light goo, the moonblade's size doubled, and its attack range also doubled as well. Swoosh! The moonblade hit the wild boar on the neck, creeping into its black-gray fur. It emerged from the other end and flew for about 3 to 4 meters before dissipating in the air. Glup glup! The wild boar stood on the spot, frozen for a moment, then blood oozed out from its injuries like a fountain. It abruptly collapsed, half of its head cut off, washed away by the pouring blood, and only a small piece of flesh kept it together with its body. A thick smell of blood gushed out into his nose. Fang Yuan did not dare to hesitate, pointing a finger at the wild boar, and the white boar goo which was residing in his aperture instantly turned into a milky white light and entered the wild boar's body. Fang Yuan stood on the spot, nervously staying alert of the surroundings. Although the beast skin map said that the area was relatively safe, there were always accidents in nature. What if beasts were attracted by the smell of the blood? After a while, the white boar goo flew back safe and sound. The entire boar had shrunk in half, only leaving behind its black-gray fur and the intestines under its skin. As for the meat, most of it was eaten by the white boar goo. But the strange thing was, although the white boar goo ate pork nearly 1,000 times its size, it did not change physically. There was not even a drip of blood on it, as it maintained that milky white worm appearance. After this meal, I'll come 5 days later to hunt boars. Fang Yuan kept the white boar goo, but did not leave immediately. Instead, he took out his knife and extracted the 2 tusks of the boar. The wild boar's body had a few things of value. The first was pork, the second was fur, and the third was its teeth. But now the wild boar meat was mostly eaten by the white boar goo. Its skin was full of holes due to the moonblades, being meaningless even if retrieved. Only this pair of tusks had some value. It could be used as food for certain goo worms which ate teeth as food, or used as a catalyst for some goo worm's advancement. Fang Yuan hid the teeth in the rock-cracked secret cave before returning to the hostel. He did not sleep immediately, but sat on his bed and started to cultivate. Within the aperture, the primeval sea acted like waves, rising and falling. Fang Yuan was now a middle-stage goo master, so after using the liquor worm refinement, he had upper-stage primeval essence. Thus, while the people his age had middle-stage pale green primeval essence, Fang Yuan's primeval essence was dark green. Now that he killed a boar, there was only 23% of his primeval essence in his aperture. A rank 1 goo master was not that strong in battle, or rather, nature's environment was too harsh. Even if the moonblade could break bones, to kill a normal wild boar, Fang Yuan had to use 20% of his upper stage primeval essence. White boar goo. His eyes were shut tight, his spirit immersed into his aperture. In the aperture, a gush of dark green primeval essence rushed up against the flow, injecting into the white boar goo. The white boar goo immediately emitted a bright white light, and the light enveloped Fang Yuan's body. If one looked from the outside, they would see that Fang Yuan's body was emitting a pure white light from the inside. Fang Yuan's every muscle and every inch of skin was soaked in this white light. A feeling of numbness and itchiness was felt by him. As the white light modified his muscles, it allowed strength to be slowly infused into his body, thus gaining roots and never to be lost again. However, after a moment, the numb feeling became pain. This pain was like getting electrocuted, from numbness to sharp pain like getting cut by razor blades. Fang Yuan hurriedly stopped the white boar goo. Anything prolonged was not good. The white boar goo could not be overused. It could be applied about 15 minutes a day. Exceed it, and extreme pain would be felt, increasingly painful. If he continued using it despite that, a person might even die from the pain. Time flies, and with the blink of an eye, it was already the middle of June. The summer night, with the golden arc of the moon hanging high in the sky, shining its radiance on the green mountain lands. The winds blew and the leaves danced with the moonlight. The song of the cicadas and bullfrogs were simultaneous with each other. At times the sound of a wolf howling could be heard from afar, echoing throughout the green mountain. On a riverbank, a creek was scrubbing over a piece of smooth cliff rock. Beside this bank, a battle was ongoing. A mountain boar covered in fine and deep wounds all over kicked its legs and rushed forward once more towards Fang Yuan. The blood was pouring from its wounds, marking a road of fresh red liquid. Fang Yuan wrestled with it, showing no signs of panic. The wild boar was on the verge of death, but it was precisely these moments that wild beasts are the most dangerous. Using the last remaining potential of their lives, their insanity and tenacity could cause one to get gravely injured at any careless moment. Fang Yuan was peaceful, his black iris glowing eerily under the moonlight, showing the light of absolute calmness. He had the experience of 500 years. A part of him was engrossed in combat, while another disengaged from the battle and remained alert towards the surroundings. Many times when he was hunting wild boars, other animals came to wreak havoc. At times, a wild boar, another time wild wolves, and even once a wandering tiger. As time passed, the wild boar's attacks gradually slowed down. Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly as he took a few strides forward, getting close to the wild boar. Raising strength in his shoulder and arms, he carried and raised the wild boar in one breath. Huff! Fang Yuan growled as his face was puffed red, his arms stretching out and raising the wild boar high above his head. The wild boar feebly struggled. Fang Yuan's body was unstable. He used all his strength to throw the wild boar. With a boom, the wild boar was thrown onto a large rock by the river bank. It cried pitifully, as sounds of its bones breaking could be heard. It fell down from the large rock, blood oozing out from its ears, nose and mouth. It struggled a few times before drawing its final breath. The surroundings regained its peace. The river water flowed endlessly, carrying the boar's blood along the river to some faraway place. My strength right now can compete with a boar. Tonight I'll go try that giant rock at the passageway. Fang Yuan stood on the spot, breathing in heavily with a hint of excitement flashing across his eyes. These days he had used the white boar goo non-stop to increase the strength of his body. He could feel strongly now that his strength was getting bigger. Back then when he fought wild boars, he could only use a kiting technique with the moonblade, but now he could even carry the wild boar, so the increment of his strength had shown great progress. Of course, the white boar goo would not endless give him strength. The limit was a boar's strength, and once he reached the limit, it would no longer grant him any additional strength. I can carry a wild boar now, but that does not mean I can go head-to-head with a boar, like how a strong man can carry another strong man, but it does not mean they have equal strength. My strength can continue to grow. Feeding all the pork to the white boar goo, Fang Yuan used his hunting knife to retrieve the boar's teeth, and finally diced up the already heavily torn boar skin before going into the secret cave in the rock crack. As for the boar's corpse, it did not need him to do anything. During the summer night, wild beasts roamed freely, and not long after, there should be wild beasts picking up the scent of the blood and rush here to clean the scene for Fang Yuan. Or rather, even if someone found out, it was inconsequential. The wild boar's injuries were all edited by Fang Yuan, looking nothing like moonblade cuts. Back to the secret cave enveloped in red light, Fang Yuan threw the two wild boar teeth at a corner. The wild boar's teeth collided, causing a crisp sound. At this corner, there was already a pile of wild boar teeth. They were the results of Fang Yuan's hunting. Fang Yuan squirmed into the passageway, once again getting to the end of the tunnel. Walking on the tunnel, his footsteps could be heard echoing in the cave. His vision dyed red due to the light. Everything was unchanged. The giant rock was still there, quietly blocking his path. As for the hole created after digging out the earth treasury flower, it had already been filled up by Fang Yuan. Huh? Fang Yuan walked in front of the giant rock, raised both hands and pushed. Although his face grew red with exertion, and he used all his strength, the giant rock did not move an inch. With my current strength, I can only carry a wild boar, but this giant rock, it is at least the weight of 5 to 6 boars. No wonder I cannot move it. The flower wine monk's strength inheritance is not that easily obtained. Fang Yuan's gaze shone as he estimated in his heart. He did not give up, but instead came out of the tunnel and returned to the secret room upstairs. Taking a bamboo tube from the corner of the wall, Fang Yuan sat on the ground and opened the lid, taking out the beast skin map and sheets of bamboo paper. He opened the beast skin map and started to memorize it, using his fingers to draw on the traces on the map to aid in his memorization. Ever since he had obtained the map, he had been doing this every day. Fang Yuan did not have a storage-type goo. He could not bring the beast skin map with him everywhere. Carrying a bamboo tube on him while battling is inconvenient too. Thus, Fang Yuan put in some effort and was prepared to stuff the entire beast skin map's content into his head. Some things, even if troublesome, had to be done. In a person's life, those who did not actively resolve problems due to fearing trouble would always face a dangerous predicament at the end. Fang Yuan understood this logic from his previous life. When one is young, their memory sure is good. I have already memorized more than half of this map. If I was old, I would probably forget the content while memorizing this. Heh. Of course, if I had a bookworm, I would feed this map to it, and from then on, as long as I do not lose the bookworm, I will be able to recall this map clearly forever. Fang Yuan had the liquor worm, white boar goo, and was now beginning to have insatiable greed, starting to crave the bookworm. The value of the bookworm was quite close to the liquor worm and white boar goo, all being rare species among the rank 1 goo worms. The market price was expensive, and they were often sold out in moments. In his previous life, Fang Yuan did not obtain the liquor worm or white boar goo, but he accidentally obtained a bookworm. This bookworm eventually advanced ranks with him and accompanied him for a whole 60 years. Forget it, bookworms are rare and low in numbers. I won't be able to get one anytime soon. To speak the truth, my current stage is way better than my previous life at this point. Last time at this period, I was still a rank 1 initial stage, while the others like Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng, Mo Bei were already upper stage, far beyond me. Fang Yuan was not someone who worried over nothing, quickly getting over it. He was rather satisfied with his current progress. He was a middle stage, and the others were also middle stage. With his C-grade talent, he could maintain the same speed as these A and B grades. It was not easy. Much effort was given to the liquor worm, as well as Fang Yuan's rich cultivating experience. The other aspect was also due to Fang Yuan. His act of extortion had caused the classmates to bulk up on training their physical fighting skills under the help of their elders. Unknowingly, it caused them to be distracted, reducing the time they spent on nurturing their apertures. This resulted in everyone's cultivation level being even lower than Fang Yuan's past life. But even so, they were not so far from upper stage now. Gu Master's early stage of cultivation was rather easy, seeing effect in a short period of time. Especially Gu Yue Fang Zheng, Mo Chen and Kai Cheng, their cultivation level had already creeped and even seemed to surpass Fang Yuan. With constant cultivation, these three with their talent, or the support behind them, had already begun to show their advantage. The lead that Fang Yuan had due to the liquor worm was starting to disappear. Of course, there was also the reason of him hunting recently, and using the white boar goo to raise his strength, or spending much of his time and effort in doing so. At this rate, before long, someone will advance to upper stage. The first person that achieves upper stage will get a reward of 30 primeval stones, but this reward, I do not intend to contest for it. Fang Yuan had decided long ago. If he abandoned the white boar goo now and rushed for upper stage, he might have some hopes of winning. But that was not Fang Yuan's goal. 30 primeval stones might be good, but he did not lack primeval stones at the moment. The bigger reason was that he needed to remain concealed and keep a low profile to reduce other people's attention towards him, so that he can inherit the flower wine monk's strength inheritance successfully. This is his real motive. The academy has all sorts of rewards, but it is just carrots to pique the student's interest, and most importantly, it is a part of the family's system. Fighting for these little rewards is not what a wise person would do. Fang Yuan collected his spirits and gazed at the beast skin map again. The beast skin map had 2 pages. One recorded the day while the other recorded the night. Many lines of different colors intertwined on it. These lines, some were straight, some were curved, but they all had their own specific meaning. Only old man Wang would be clear of their meaning, but it is a pity he died. But even if he was alive, by forcing him to speak, he might not say the truth. These days, Fang Yuan relied on his knowledge and experience, and according to the bamboo paper's comparison, he had already deciphered it all. The red cross represents danger, a forbidden zone. The area with the red cross seems to be surrounded by wild boars. It is probably a wild boar king there. With my current strength, I'm as good as dead if I encounter one. HMPH. Thinking of old man Wang, Fang Yuan could not help but snort again. This area marked with a cross was not marked on the bamboo paper. If Fang Yuan really believed the bamboo paper, he would probably die by the fangs of the wild boar king one day. This old man Wang was indeed experienced. To avenge his son, he did not have to act himself but borrowed the wild boar king's strength. This way, even if Fang Yuan dies, he would be able to avoid responsibility. But these 3 spots marked with a red circle, what do they mean? Fang Yuan was perturbed. This was the beast skin map's final suspicious point. 3 red circles, showing 3 very isolated areas. They were also very far apart and had little surrounding beasts, considered safer areas in the wild. The red cross represents forbidden area, but what does the red circle represent? Fang Yuan fell into deep thoughts. Normally, red is the most alert color. Old man Wang marked these 3 areas, meaning they are important. It is a pity these areas are far, if not I would inspect them myself and find the reason. The hot summer sun blazes on, the mountain winds blowing the warm winds around, Qingmao Mountain steaming under the hot air. In the blink of an eye, it was already near the end of June. Gu Yue Fang Zheng. In the academy, the family elder called out. Gu Yue Fang Zheng got up from his seat and came before the academy elder. Under the admiring gaze of his classmates, Fang Zheng received a heavy bag of primeval stones. Fang Zheng, you are the first to advance to upper stage. This is your reward. Good job, continue working hard. Academy elder smiled pleasantly, patting Fang Zheng's shoulders. Fang Zheng acknowledged with a grunt, his face full of excitement. He took the money bag over with emotion and returned to his seat. I finally did it. The first to advance to upper stage. Do you see that, big brother? I finally beat you for once. His eyes shone with bright light as he swept his gaze over at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was sprawled on the table, sound asleep. Last night he had killed another wild boar, and after returning to the hostel, he used the white boar goo to improve his body and also used the natural essence within the primeval stones to refine his primeval essence using the liquor worm. Finally, he used his upper stage primeval essence to nurture his aperture, all the way until morning. He hurriedly ate breakfast before rushing to class, falling asleep as soon as he settled in. He was too exhausted, and goo master cultivation could not replace sleep. HMPH, even if you don't admit it, this is the truth. Big brother, I have finally surpassed you. This is the first, and there will be a second time, a third time. Fang Zheng clenched his fists. This success was extremely meaningful to him. He had already broken through the dark clouds in his heart, creating an opening to allow light to penetrate in. Even though this light was thin, it gave Fang Zheng hope and encouragement. HMPH, I actually lost to that Fang Zheng. Gu Yue Mobe sat on his seat, arms crossed, feeling indignant. This is the advantage of an grade, damn it, Gu Yue Kaicheng said with a dark expression. As he cultivated, he felt strongly the advantages of a good talent. Even with his grandfather Gu Yue Kai Lion's support, plus his extremely hard work, he was still left behind by Fang Zheng. If only I had a liquor worm plus grandfather's help, I might not lose to Fang Zheng. Those accursed Fang family brothers. Little brother is a grade, suppressing us, but the brother being a C grade has a liquor worm. Why did all the good things in this world go to these brothers? Gu Yue Kai Cheng felt really indignant. This time Fang Zheng broke through to upper stage first. Of course, he is a grade talent. Yeah, even Mobe, Kai Cheng, and Fang Yuan lost to Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng has gained all the attention this time. Fang Yuan having the liquor worm is not putting in effort, wasting his time every day, even sleeping in class. He might as well give his liquor worm to me. The surrounding students discussed, feeling indignant in their hearts, helplessness and envy. The academy elder called them one by one, and students went up continuously to collect their primeval stones allowance and return to their seats. Everyone quietened down. After the allowance was given out, the academy elder used his hand to hit the table. All of a sudden, the academy became silent. Now, you've all mastered your second goo worm and even so much as broke through into the upper stage. In the past half a year, you have all worked hard, and now you have some basics. It is time for you to train in the wilds. True battles are not scarecrows or puppets, wooden puppets that stand there and await your attacks. The following mid-year examination will be held 3 days later. All students have to attend. The examination content is to hunt wild boars. By collecting wild boar teeth as results to record, those who collect the most wild boar teeth will get better scores. At the end of the examination, each wild boar teeth can be exchanged for 10 primeval stones. Furthermore, you are allowed to hunt in groups. The academy elder's words caused a commotion among the students. The mid-year exam is finally here. Every year students study at the academy for a year, and there is always a mid-year exam and an end-of-year exam. Looking at the time, it really is time for the mid-year exam. Every year's examination content is different. To think that this year, our examination is to hunt and acquire wild boar teeth. What should we do? My talent is only D grade. My vital goo isn't an attack type like the moonlight goo. How can I hunt wild boars? Didn't you hear? The family elder said, we are allowed to hunt in groups. For those with talent that can't make it or those with goo worms that aren't suitable, we can help each other and cooperate. When we get boar teeth, we just need to share with one another, and that would work. Each wild boar teeth can be exchanged for 10 primeval stones. This is the academy encouraging us to hunt more wild boars, and the prize is set for that. For true market value, one primeval stone can buy 20 wild boar teeth. The students had varying expressions. Some were happy while others fretted, some were eager to go, while others called on companions. Even Fang Yuan was slightly moved. It changed. I remember that last year's examination was to collect wildlife honey. To think that it changed to wild boar teeth. Is this the butterfly effect? A butterfly flapping its wings can cause a giant storm on the coast of another ocean. A small change in the initial conditions lead to drastic changes in the results. Ever since his rebirth, Fang Yuan had made many changes. The conditions of his current self was vastly different from his previous life. Back then, he had already been left behind by Fang Zheng and the others, but now he was adamantly at the top of the student board. In his past life, he did not kill Jia Jinsheng. In fact, they did not even meet. But this life, he did not only kill Jia Jinsheng, he even excavated the deeper treasures of the flower wine monk's inheritance. These changes are like a butterfly flapping its wings, indirectly causing changes to the environment. The mid-year examination change is only the first of such symptoms. If I continue changing things, will it cause history to become completely unrecognizable as well? In that case, the advantage from my rebirth would be significantly reduced. Fang Yuan looked calm, but was sighing internally. The feeling of inability and pressing urgency roamed his heart, but he quickly adjusted his mood. No matter what, since it has already happened, I can't stop it. What I need to do now is to actively change myself. Even if the events are completely different at the end, I would not slow down my growth just because of such concerns. In my past life, I knew nothing about the future. Does that mean that in my current life I lack courage? Even if the world is full of thorns, I will cut through all the thorns in my way and pave out a blood-filled path myself. Every teeth for 10 primeval stones, this price is very high. Should I sell all those wild boar fangs I have stocked up at the cave? But if I do, I might attract suspicion. No, according to the Gu Yue clan's political situation, if I sell these wild boar teeth publicly, I might get screwed over. Fang Yuan shook his head. The risks were too big. If he really sold these teeth, what could he get in return? A little over 100 primeval stones. Wait, primeval stones aren't important. Maybe I can use this change to construct my image again. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly. He needed to get rich secretly now, being as low profile as possible. If the flower wine monk's inheritance was exposed, he might even lose his life. But his current position was awkward. He stood against all his classmates, being outside the system, and among the higher-ups he was an untamable, unhappy and indignant, intelligent and cold, C-grade talent teenager. This image was not good. It literally portrayed him as unloyal. But a clan requires loyalty. In fact, any organization requires loyalty. No matter which world, loyalty is the value that is most sought after in clans. Loyalty to the clan, loyalty to the country, loyalty to his leader, loyalty to his loved one, loyalty to his friends, etc. As Fang Yuan's cultivation level got higher, the higher-ups would only get more concerned, and if needed, the family may even use hard-handed methods on him. At that point, Fang Yuan would be really thrown into passivity. Fang Yuan did not like passiveness. He liked to have the control of all matters tightly in his grip. Because of a series of events before, Fang Yuan could only operate on the go, relying on outside strength, and this image he constructed was only to protect himself in times of need. But now that he could protect himself, Fang Yuan needed to be stronger. Thus, he needed to change this image, letting the higher-ups think that he had given up and joined the clan system. But this conversation cannot be too abrupt, or it would be suspicious. More importantly, joining this system is only a facade. Fang Yuan would not really join them truly and be manipulated and restricted. He had too many secrets. He needed large amounts of freedom, and in actuality, he was still a loner in operation. But now the mid-year exam was a chance. It seems I have to do some plotting. I'll start from the extortion then. Fang Yuan's gaze became certain as everything fell into his scheme. You said that during Fang Yuan's extortion this time, although he defeated Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng and Mo Bei, he left go of them and did not take their primeval stones. Hearing the guard's report, the academy elder revealed a slightly shocked expression. I dare not lie to Lord, it is indeed like this. The guard kneeling on the ground immediately responded. The academy elder did not express his opinion and waved his hand. I have understood this matter, you may go. Your subordinate takes his leave. Once the guard had left, the academy elder immediately fell into deep thoughts. He was originally concerned with this matter, as he was afraid Fang Yuan would snatch away the 30 primeval stones that Fang Zheng had gotten as a reward. If that was the case, the Academy's reward system would have no meaning. They might as well give everything to Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan really did that, the Academy would not allow it, and the Academy elder was already prepared to punish Fang Yuan. But he did not expect that not only did Fang Yuan have no intention to take the 30 primeval stones from Fang Zheng, he even let go of Mo Bei and Kai Cheng as well. Fang Yuan has hundreds of primeval stones on hand. He might not be too concerned with the 30 primeval stones, that is understandable. But giving up on extorting Mo Bei, Kai Cheng and Fang Zheng, what is the reason? The Academy elder contemplated, his eyebrows gradually easing. He had understood something. Mo Bei, Kai Cheng, and Fang Zheng, they could be said to represent the 3 factions of the clan. Letting go of them, the meaning was that he was appealing to the 3 different factions. This was understandable, as Fang Yuan's attitude change meant that he was finally willing to lower his head to the clan. Understandable. As he cultivated, Fang Yuan may have the liquor worm, but the situation has gotten clearer to him. The inability of a C-grade talent, after a few outbursts, and letting go of the majority of his negative feelings, he is probably rather downhearted and depressed now. It seems the clan leader's words make sense. Fang Yuan is after all a 15-year-old. How can he go against the clan system? Now that he has started to accept reality, once he finds the position that he belongs to, he would fuse into the clan naturally. Thinking of this, the Academy elder breathed out a sigh of relief, his feelings becoming more cheerful. 3 days passed in a flash. Soon, the mid-year exam was here. Faster, faster, I've lured the wild boar out. A youngster ran as he shouted out frantically. On both his legs, there was a light green ring of swirling wind. With these 2 rings, it led to him having above-average speed at such a young age. However, the wild boar chasing after him became faster and faster, and the distance between them was shortening. The scorching sun penetrated the forest and reflected on the wild boar, causing both its teeth to shine brightly. The wild boar is coming. Hold the rope tightly. The 4 ambushing youngsters quickly hid in the bushes and pulled the ropes tightly, instantly forming a tripping rope. The speeding youngster leapt lightly, jumping over the road and continued running. But the boar behind him tripped over the rope and fell harshly on the ground, crashing 5 to 6 meters before stopping. The 4 youngsters were pulled along by the rope and fell to the ground along with the wild boar. Strike! The youngster running ahead turned around and shouted. The few people lying on the ground frantically stood up and surrounded the wild boar. Catcha! A small budding tree, under the impact of the wild boar, snapped in half and the tree crown fell to the ground. What a close shave! Gu Yue Kai Cheng wiped the sweat off his forehead, feeling lingering fear. Luckily, I managed to use the dragon pill cricket goo and leapt 3 meters to the left, Otherwise, this tree would have been my outcome. Pew pew pew. Moonblade danced in the air as it hit the wild boar's body, causing long and shallow cuts. Gu Yue Mobei's face was excited, his eyes glowing, his spirits immersed in this battle. Half an hour later, the wild boar collapsed due to excessive loss of blood. Gu Yue Mobei breathed roughly and also sat on the ground, his entire body full of mud and grass, at the same time full of sweat. Fighting against a living being like the wild boar is indeed different from the wooden puppet, grass puppet during practice battles. I spent 30 minutes just to kill a wild boar. I wonder how are the others doing. On a hidden small hill, there was a temporarily built tent. The tent blocked the punishing sun rays and casted an area of cool, dark, shadowy shade. Under the cover there was a few chairs and tables, with the academy elder sitting at the main seat. Beside him, there were other clan elders. A few Gu masters were standing behind them. In the surrounding forests around the tent, there were also some hidden Gu masters. At this time, the forest ahead had an abnormal disturbance. Whoosh! A Gu master emerged from the forest like a shadow and quickly ran out, kneeling outside the tentage. "How is the situation?" Academy Elder asked. Reporting to Lord Elder at this point, there are no casualties among the students. The Gu master quickly answered. Good, good. An afternoon had already gone by since the mid-year exam started. To have no injuries, this is different from the past years. It looks like this is all the Academy Elder's effort. The other clan elders nodded satisfactorily, praising in turns. The Academy Elder shook his head slightly. He knew the reason. This was due to Fang Yuan's emergence, extorting his classmates, causing them to practice hard on basic martial arts, thus having such a performance. He looked towards the kneeling Gu master and continued asking, "Then at this point, whose results are the best?" The Gu master answered immediately. Reporting to Lord at this point, Gu Yue Fang Yuan, Fang Zheng Mobei Kai Cheng are leading. Kai Cheng killed 3 boars, Fang Zheng and Mobei killed 5, and Fang Yuan has the most at 8. Oh, to think Fang Yuan is leading. In all the years, it is a very rare sight that A and B grade talents are being suppressed by a C grade. He has the liquor worm right. That means he has upper stage green copper primeval essence, so to have such a result, it is understandable. I believe that from now on, Fang Zheng, Mo Bei and Kai Cheng would surpass him. Although he has the liquor worm, his primeval essence recovery rate cannot compare to A, B grade talents. The other clan elders discussed. You may go. Academy Elder waved his hand towards the kneeling Gu master. Instruct the others focus on their protecting job, especially Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng and Mo Bei, pay more attention and ensure their safety. Yes, Lord, the Gu master retreated. These outdoor combats to most students, it was really their first time. Thus, there was danger and the clan naturally has plans. Dozens of rank 2 Gu masters were concealed in the forests, controlling the safety of this entire examination. At the same time, some rank 3 clan elders were staying here to anticipate sudden accidents. The blazing sun slowly descended from the highest point in the sky, gradually nearing the northeast mountains. The sunset glow ignited the clouds. It was the sun's last flow of passion. As the last sunlight shone into the forest, another wild boar fell on the ground. 23rd. Fang Yuan calculated in his heart and then squatted down, skillfully carving out a wild boar teeth. There was a bag on his back. Inside was a large number of wild boar teeth. At the same time, he had another bag, carrying the teeth of those boars he killed last time. These teeth were originally stored in the rock crack secret cave and were retrieved by Fang Yuan the previous night, stored into a bag and buried in a secret location. I am familiar with the terrain and wild boar distribution, At the same time, I have upper stage primeval essence to use the moonlight goo together with the little light goo. The other's efficiency definitely cannot compare to me. Just with this bag on me, I can get number 1 easily. I wonder what expressions they would show when I take out the other bag later. Hee hee. Fang Yuan looked at the sky. It was time to retrieve the other bag. Thinking of this in his head, a map showed up. These days, he had memorized the beast skin map. Fang Yuan was clear of his current position. If he turned left and walked along the stream for 15 minutes, he would reach the location where he buried the bag. But when he was about to move, he hesitated. With my current location, I am only 500 to 600 meters away from the nearest red circle marking. Such a rare chance, should I go take a look? Once he had the thought, it was unstoppable. Since he had already won anyway, Fang Yuan had a lot of time left. That beast skin map had 3 red circle markings. These 3 locations were very important to Old Man Wang. It is also the only meaning that I could not decipher on the map. I'll go see. Fang Yuan naturally knew that there were goo masters controlling the scene, but this was also why he needed evidence. Immediately, he acted like he was going to continue killing wild boars and moved deeper into the forest. 7 minutes later, he arrived at the red marking location. A treehouse was hidden among the bushes on a huge tree, and if one did not observe closely, they would not be able to find it. This is Old Man Wang's temporary residence while hunting. Fang Yuan frowned, his heart getting confused. He climbed into the treehouse. When he saw the sight in the treehouse, his expression changed. The space in the treehouse isn't large, but there were many items inside, so at one glance it seemed extremely messy. The floor in the center had a thick, dark, yellow-colored carpet. Inside the house, there was an iron stove beside the wall, and on it there was a bronze kettle. Inside the stove there was black-colored soot, and beside it there was a small pile of unburnt dried firewood. Despite it being summer, the nights in this mountain were still icy cold. The iron stove could maintain the entire treehouse's warmth when lit, despite its small size. The treehouse has 2 sets of windows, 2 to 3 ropes wrapped as the frame of the windows, connecting the 2 together in the middle of the room. On the rope hanged several torn pieces of clothing, the torn patches pieced together. It was obviously an adult's clothing and was still slightly damp, not completely dry from the sun yet. The light of the setting sun penetrated the windows and shone inside the treehouse. The treehouse was rather dark internally. At a corner there were axes and hunting knives with beast skin wrapped on the handle. On the blade there was even dark red blood traces. On the other side of the wall, there was a piece of bamboo paper with a dagger stabbed in the middle. There was a young man's face on the bamboo paper. It was Fang Yuan's appearance. This all meant that during this short period, someone had come to the hidden treehouse and lived here. The person's intention was obvious. His target was Fang Yuan. The paper was stabbed by a dagger and showed his evil intent to the extremes. Such a scenario, even Fang Yuan was taken aback. What does this person want, and why is he against me? No, maybe it isn't me, but Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan's thoughts flew all over his mind. Fang Zheng was an grade talent, the only one in the last 3 years of the Gu Yue clan, and is their only hope. If he could be truly nurtured, he would be the next figure in the clan. But nurturing was a process. During this process, there were calamities and human-made disasters. Ignoring calamities, the most important was human disasters. As everyone knew, Qingmao Mountain did not only have the Gu Yue clan, but also the Bai clan and Sheng clan. These 2 forces would not be happy to see the dominating Gu Yue clan successfully nurturing an grade talent. Thus, sending assassins to get rid of him was a common thing. In this world, there are little geniuses, and even less of those who could successfully grow up. A grade talent Gu masters, It was not that they did not exist. 3 years ago, one appeared in the Gu Yue clan. In even earlier generations, they also appeared on occasions. But on Qingmao Mountain, out of the 3 clans in these years, there was only one successful A-grade talent nurtured, the Bai clan's Bai Inning Bing of rank 3 cultivation. Such a scenario was enough to say many things. This person, is he from the Bai clan or the Xing clan? They want to get rid of Gu Yue Fang Zheng so soon. Fang Yuan frowned, staring at the portrait. But why did old man Wang's beast skin map indicate this treehouse? Was he a spy from the other forces? No, this person is obviously after me. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with brilliance. At this moment, he thought of many scenes. The first time, it was beside the trap, and the 4 hunters' conversation. A hunter said, "Second brother Wang, you're almost 19. It is time you got married and have children." Wang said, "HMPH, as a true man, how can I be lusting after such small beauty? One day, I will walk out of this Qingmao mountain and roam the world, learn everything in the world and live up to the expectations of my male body." The second time was after he himself acted, Wang peculiar calmness. He pulled his bow and pointed at Fang Yuan. The others were already begging for forgiveness. The third was when Fang Yuan was asking questions. "I ask you, in old man Wang's family, who else is there?" A hunter answered. Hunter Wang originally had a wife, but that was decades ago, and she was killed by wild wolves that intruded the village. Before his wife died, she gave birth to 2 sons and a daughter. But the oldest son Wang De died on the mountain while hunting 3 years ago. There is no one else in the Wang family. I remember. Old man Wang actually also has a daughter-in-law, Wang De's old wife. But after Wang De disappeared, his wife died due to a broken heart. That year, the village even specially sent down a chastity memorial arch. But rumor has it that Wang De's wife wanted to remarry, and she was actually hounded to death by old man Wang. When you killed old man Wang, Lord, you are helping us citizens, rooting out the evil and bringing people peace. The other hunter quickly added, that's right. Actually, Lord, we have long found this old Wang unfavorable. HMPH, he's nothing special, just that he can hunt better than us. We're all just mortals, yet he thinks he's more special than us and purposely moved out of the village to live here. As the younger generation, we sometimes will ask him to teach us and impart his experiences, but he would just outright chase us away and never allow us to show up again near the wooden house. Old man Wang's family, moving out of the village away from people. Eldest son Wang De died on the mountains 3 years ago while hunting. Wang De's wife wanted to remarry and was forced to commit suicide by old man Wang and obtained a chastity memorial arch. Old man Wang chased away all the young hunters who were trying to ask for guidance. Old man Wang tried his best to hide the beast skin map, and on the bamboo paper there were no such circles. Wang was at such a young age, but was calm towards Gu masters. At the same time, he did not marry and had the aspiration to surpass mortal realm in his heart. Most importantly, the circles on the beast skin map indicated a hidden realm. There was obvious human activity in the area. At the same time, this person held strong hatred towards Fang Yuan. All the clues pieced together. If separated, they were not easy to link, but once linked, it was peculiar. The more Fang Yuan thought about it, the more he felt that the mist shrouding this mystery has thinned. The setting sun's afterglow passed through the window and reflected upon his face, the strong light alike to the color of blood. The surroundings had fallen into a deadly silence. Was there someone secretly peeping at him all this time? Suddenly, Fang Yuan's eyes lit up, his vision crossing through time and space. He had seen the truth. Wang De did not die. At this moment, the glow in his eyes radiated the surroundings. Not only did he not die, he even became a demonic Gu master by chance. It was not that mortals had no cultivating talent, but that the clan restricted the cultivation methods from leaking out and controlled it tightly in their hands. But there was no absolute in this world. Mortals could become goo masters as well, from accidents in the wild and encountering the hope goo, opening their aperture, or inheriting a certain strength inheritance, or getting the personal guidance from a certain clan's member. But these goo masters were not accepted into the clan completely, and could only be their henchmen. Thus, they would not be satisfied and became loner goo masters. Their cultivation is extremely difficult. As time passed, as they competed for resources, they would have to kill, snatch, and murder, turning towards the demonic path. Because of some lucky chance, the highest possibility is that he obtained a large fortune from a certain goo master's corpse and became a goo master 3 years ago. To hide from others, he sent out the fake information that he died, but no one had ever seen his corpse. Old man Wang's family found out about this and moved out of the village, risking the chance that wild beasts might invade and lived alone, just to hide this truth. But there were some problems that occurred. Wang De's wife did not agree and might have wanted to report to the Gu Yue clan. Wang family had no choice but to kill her and release some seemingly real and fake information to hide the truth. Something about her remarrying or forcing her to commit suicide to hide the truth under all these rumors. Once in a while, Wang De would return home to stay. Thus, old man Wang had to chase those youngsters who were seeking guidance away. Wang after interacting with his brother, had dispelled his fear of Gu masters and naturally developed the goal of wanting to be a Gu master and explore the greatness of the outside world. Because of the fear that Wang De might be exposed, even at such an old age, Wang did not get married. Wang De could not stay in the house. Thus old man Wang drew 3 red circles on the beast skin map. These 3 locations should be hidden residential areas like this. Having 3 hiding spots, Wang De rotated his stay around the houses and lived in the fringe of the 3 clans' authority. The meaning of the 3 red circles was finally revealed. Red indicated alertness, but most importantly to old man Wang. This was his eldest son's residence. Thus, when Fang Yuan wanted the old man to draw the map, he did not indicate it on the bamboo paper. It was to protect his son. Similarly, he drew fewer red crosses to avenge the death of his son. Maybe at a certain time each year, Wang De will return home to stay for a while. When he returned, he found that his entire family was dead. After asking around, he found out it was me. Thus he used the dagger to pin my portrait on the wall so that he would exact revenge on me. With his previous life's experience, Fang Yuan was almost certain this was the truth. If it was some other power that wanted to assassinate Fang Zheng, they could be much more subtle. They did not have to develop a spy like Old Man Wang. After all, Old Man Wang lived at the mountain foot, not inside the Gu Yue village. To think that over a beast skin map, I provoked a murderer of the demonic faction. This world really works in wondrous ways. Fang Yuan could not help but snicker. He first killed Wang the old man Wang and Wang's daughter, and it was all for the beast skin map. Old man Wang was the #1 hunter in the village, so his beast skin map had the greatest value. At that time he was thinking, it's merely 3 mortal lives, what's the big deal, I'll just killing them conveniently. In this world, anyone had the right to live, and anyone could die just as easily. To think that out of nowhere, a demonic Wei Gu master emerged. With regards to this, Fang Yuan did not have a tint of regret, but instead felt at ease. If he had been too merciful at the time, in his goal to obtain the Wang family beast skin map, Wang old man Wang and sister Wang would have been a huge disturbance. To protect Wang De's secret, they would not give him the real product. Wang battle strength could exterminate an ordinary rank 1 upper stage Gu master. Old man Wang was even more experienced with age, and in terms of killing strength, he was even more of a threat than Wang Even if he had got the real product, Old Man Wang would have informed Wang De, and Wang De would have gotten Fang Yuan's information immediately. No matter how he dealt with it, he would be in the shadows while Fang Yuan was out in the open. Wang De would be having the advantage of being in control of the situation. Good thing I killed them at the start. Regardless of what, I have to control the situation in my own palm. This way, even if I do not get the real item, there is no loss to me, and I can even snatch other hunters. Killing Old Man Wang and that girl caused Wang De to spend a lot of time just to get my intel. Needless to say, those two young hunters must have already been silenced. Fang Yuan confirmed in his heart. There was only a few people who knew the situation, and Wang De would not attack Zheng He. Once Zheng He is dead, the clan would send people to investigate. But if those two hunters disappeared on the mountain, it was easy to manipulate. Zheng He would not reveal an incident like this, as it would affect the clan's evaluation of him, and would even cover up the situation. The thoughts of Fang Yuan flew all over the place in the tree house. With the knowledge acquired from his previous life, Fang Yuan could sense Wang De's existence, but how was his strength? Fang Yuan had never seen this Wang De, but with the information at hand, there was much he could analyze from this. Courage is built upon the basis of strength. He had collected my information and still wants to exact revenge on me. With such a confidence, his cultivation has to be above rank 1. These 3 years he had been moving around the 3 red circled areas, living on the fringe of the 3 clan villages. Almost every day he faced the risk of getting discovered and purged. This shows he does not have the strength to roam outside, and roaming outside requires rank 3 cultivation. This means that, at first evaluation, he is a rank 2. Fang Yuan's eyes glinted with cold light. Counting the time, he disappeared for 3 years and cultivated to rank 2 now, so he should be a B or C grade talent, and his aperture should have about 40–70% primeval essence. These 3 years, he could survive and at the same time, live at home despite Zheng He's observation, so he has to have a stealth type of goo worm at work. Information was the most important thing to a goo master's showdown. Although Fang Yuan had no investigative type goo worm, with his experience and knowledge, he could forcefully reverse engineer Wang De's cultivation level and goo worms to a highly plausible degree. Very quickly, his mental image of a rank 2 demonic faction goo master appeared, carrying the hatred of his family's murder and lurking somewhere to kill his revenge target. I can kill others, others can naturally come to kill me. This is nothing. Fang Yuan laughed lightly. In this world, anyone had the right to live, and anyone had the chance to die. Those who kill are bound to get killed. Since he committed murder, he should be mentally prepared to get killed. If he was killed like that, then he would die like that. It was nothing much, and definitely no regrets. This was the path he chose. This point, Fang Yuan had great resolve already. This is the resolution of the demonic way. Wang wants to kill me, then in this mid-year exam, it is definitely the best chance. Normally, students would reside in the village, and with his rank 2 cultivation, he cannot creep into the village, that is courting death. Maybe he evaluated that I might come out to hunt, but Qingmao Mountain is so huge, he alone has to hide his traces and also have to search for me. It is too difficult. Now that there's this chance, he is most likely to strike. He is a rank 2 goo master, and one that has struggled for 3 years, living a life of danger and unknown, a demonic faction goo master nurtured like this. With my current battle strength, I am definitely not his match, but this does not mean that I have no chance of survival. Escape. Fang Yuan instantly decided. Nothing is too shameless if it is to survive, so if he can't fight it, run. For a goo master to make a sudden breakthrough is almost never happening. Fighting against a higher realm is possible, but that is built on the base that the goo master has special goo worms. Fang Yuan had a number of goo worms in his possession, but the spring-autumn cicada was hibernating and unusable, while the liquor worm, white boar goo, little light goo, and moonlight goo were not trump cards to fight a higher realm. Obviously knowing the enemy was unbeatable, yet resolving to fight to the death, that is a stupid, hot-blooded behavior. Even if he wins, that would not win him the favor of fate. Fang Yuan is cautious his entire life even with trump cards, and if the chances of victory is slim, he would choose to avoid combat. He liked to be in control of the situation, using unscrupulous methods to raise his chances to the limit. He loved fighting assured battles. Only when he has no choice would he engage in a risky fight. Thus, his favorite activity was to bully the weak and snatch resources to get stronger. Strong enough until he surpasses his enemies and then stomp on them afterwards, bullying the weak. There is nothing shameless about this. Those who find challenges just to prove their bravery and risk their lives to fight to the death with strong enemies, that is the real stupidity. But unfortunately, this quality has been praised and recommended, because any organization needed the individual to sacrifice themselves to protect the interests of the ones in power. One just needs to think slightly to know that survival is the prerequisite to all activities. In order to survive and fulfill the ambitions on their heart, this is a person's greatest courage. Dying for aspiration, those are fools. Surviving shamelessly for their ambitions, those are true brave warriors. On Earth, Han Xin endured the shame of crawling through someone's legs. Cao Cao was chased till he shaved his beard and torn his robe. Yue Wang, in order to live, had to eat shit to express his loyalty. That's why, fuck off with honor and reputation and face. Regardless of organization, they would applaud such a value system. The more that needed to be sacrificed, the more they would be promoted, like a military. Which direction should I go? The one that has the lowest chance of encountering Wang De. A map appeared in Fang Yuan's mind. Wang De already knows I have the beast skin map. Now he should be hiding in the forest, searching for me by looking for the wild boar distribution on the map. I cannot go to these places, thus I can only move in reverse to find a chance to survive. Thinking of this, a slightly insane route surfaced in Fang Yuan's mind. Under the sunset in the mountain forest, tree shadows overlapped and wild grass grew abundantly. A pair of bloodshot eyes hid deep in the shadows. His eyes burnt with hatred and anger, as if it couldn't be doused even with a tsunami. Fang Yuan, I've finally found you. Wang De gritted his teeth, growling the words out from his mouth. Under his gaze, not far away, a youngster with a thin body and pale face was traversing the forest. With his enemy nearby, Wang De did not act immediately, but turned his gaze to several other positions. From each of these positions, an invigilator Gu master was hidden. To prevent cheating and for immediate treatment of injuries, the area nearby had around a few dozen rank 2 Gu masters hiding. There was even rank 3 clan elders holding the fort on the mountains high up. Wang De carefully moved around the forest and collected a lot of intel. I want to kill Fang Yuan, so I need to get rid of these 3 Gu masters first. Otherwise, once I show myself, I will be disturbed. Maybe with surprise, I can kill Fang Yuan, but I will also get killed by the Gu masters that chase after me from there. I have rank 2 middle stage cultivation, and there's 50% primeval essence in my body. I have to act first and kill these 3 Gu masters. It is difficult. I have to strike consecutively in a very short period. Otherwise, once they find their companions dead, they would become alert and my traces will be exposed. Shadow follower Gu. Wang De closed his eyes and called in his heart. Immediately, his body became enshrouded in a lump of darkness and could move among the tree shadows. All was silent. In a thick bush nearby, the Gu Yue clan's rank 2 Gu master sprawled inside, yawning out of boredom. So boring, Accompanying these junior students, I feel like a nanny. This goo master complained softly, not feeling the shadow that was slowly creeping around him. A pair of bony hands stretched out from the shadows. This pair of hands was pale to the limit. The joints were huge, and the 10 nails were sharp and long. The nails dyed a shade of dark purple and emitted a slightly fishy smell. What smell is this? The Gu Yue clan Gu master sniffed, frowning subconsciously. He just wanted to investigate, but it was too late. Wang De pounced like a snake, striking at lightning speed. One hand covered the Gu master's mouth and nose, while the other stabbed from the shadows towards his back. His dark purple nails were sharp as blades, his fingers easily entering the Gu master's body and reaching his heart. The fingernails were poisonous, and at that moment it invaded the heart. Through the blood, it spread all over the Gu master's body. The Gu master's body stiffened and lost all signs of life. Although they were both rank 2 Gu masters, one had assaulted abruptly with preparation, so before the battle even begun, it had ended. I used 10% of my primeval essence, 40% left. Wang De checked his aperture and fused into the shadows once again. A moment later, the second Gu master hiding behind a rock also met his assault. His eyes shrunk to pin size as he collapsed on the ground. The poison invaded his body, and soon he turned purple, and from his nose 2 streams of purple blood flowed out. 30% left. Wang De chanted silently, turning into shadows again. Who is it? The third Gu master was hiding on a tree branch atop a huge tree. At the crucial moment he sensed something wrong, and at the time where Wang De struck, he turned around and grabbed the 2 poisonous hands. Damn it! Wang De laughed sinisterly, his 10 nails growing crazily, at once becoming 5 centimeters long, stabbing the Gu master's forearm and piercing his skin. His forearm bled, and the blood quickly turned dark purple. This is the love-life separation. The third Gu master seeing this was shocked beyond doubt. The purple poison had already infected his face. He knew he had no poison-resistance Gu worm and was surely dead. Thus he showed resolve on his face, shouting, "Then let's die together." He opened his mouth and stretched out his tongue. There was a crescent moon tattoo on his tongue. It was the Moonlight Gu. A moonblade shot out and slashed Wang De's right shoulder, piercing through and coming out from his back. The blood splattered. Wang De grunted, his body swaying a little, but the Gu master had already passed away, with a trace of life left. Correct, this is love-life separation. Wang De stood on the tree branch, slowly standing up, showing a bitter smile. Love-life separation, the #1 poison among the rank 2 Gu worms. To refine it, one needs the rank 1 life breath grass, widow spider, red needle scorpion, and the heart of a lover. To refine this Gu worm, Wang De killed his own wife who loved him deeply and dug out her heart. It is all for survival. I could only choose strength. This is the resolution of my demonic path. Wang De's eyes were red as he stared tightly at the nearby youngster. I gave up on love and only had kinship left, but you took them from me. Fang Yuan, he growled lowly, I want you to regret deeply all that you did. Kill, Wang De growled, ferociously leaping into the air from the tree branch. As he was about to get near to his mortal enemy, 3 moonblades shot out from nowhere suddenly and intercepted him midway. Why is there a 4th Gu master? Wang De's heart sank, twisting his body forcefully in midair, narrowing, avoiding 2 moonblades. The remaining one, which he could no longer evade, hit his left leg. Bang! Wang De crashed onto the ground, lowering his head to look at his left leg. There was a wound, deep and long, blood already dripping all over. Damn! Wang De gritted his teeth, his heart thinking, shadow follower Gu. Immediately, he turned into a lump of dark shadow as his speed rose drastically, moving backwards without a sound. At this moment, a Gu worm flew out from nowhere, At the same time, an old and weary voice sounded out. Flash, blink, goo, explode. The goo worm exploded on command, turning into a blinding white light. The white light was unavoidable, abruptly appearing and turning the entire dark forest bright. Ah! Wang De shrieked. His body, which had turned into shadows, could not hide anywhere under the bright light and went back to his human form. Although the Flash Blink Goo was only rank 1 and also a consumable type, it was the complete counter of Wang De's Shadow Follower Goo. Once the darkness was dispelled by the light, the rank 2 Shadow Follower Goo needed to rest 3 hours before it could be used again. In nature, all beings are equal, one counters another. Although the Shadow Follower Goo had very strong lurking abilities, it also had a great weakness. After he was countered, Wang De's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. This fourth Goo Master was more experienced. Not only did he know which Goo to use, he also hid himself well, a true foe. More importantly, Wang De could no longer use the Shadow Follower Goo, thus having no way to retreat. I am Gu Yuesu, lad. If you surrender now, my clan might still spare your life. A white-haired, silver-beard rank 2 Gu Master appeared in front of Wang De's vision. Spare me, HMPH, I'll kill you first. Wang De knew that if it was dragged, there would be more Gu Masters appearing to deal with him. He had to kill this fourth Gu Master as soon as possible. My primeval essence only has 20% left, be it revenge or preserving my life. I have to kill this meddlesome old fellow first. Wang De picked up his spirits and jumped towards Gu Yuesu. Gu Yuesu snorted. His entire body, be it hair or poor hair, grew insanely and intertwined, in the blink of an eye forming a snow-white battle armor with a spiky design. Seeing this change, Wang De's expression changed. The experienced Gu Master was like a porcupine, causing Wang De to not know how to strike. His rank 2 strong poison Gu love-life separation. Although the poison was extremely strong and deadly, it did not have strong attacking abilities, only usable as a sneak attack. Wang De only had love-life separation and Shadow Follower Gu. If he had a defensive Gu worm, he would not have gotten hit by the Moonblade. HMPH, if I cannot deal with you, I'll kill Fang Yuan first. Wang De was not stupid. The 3 years of living had made him cunning and ruthless. He moved quickly, getting around Gu Yuesu and attacking the culprit of his family's murder. Dream on! Gu Yuesu activated his primeval essence, and his body of spikes immediately shot out 2 sharp pins, spiraling and flying 5 to 6 meters towards Wang De. Wang De's body shifted, narrowly avoiding the 2 snow-white spikes. On his hands, his 10 nails were half a palm long, purple and dark, the fog state poison circulating them. Die! Wang De was already mad from battle, laughing maniacally as he rushed towards his target. In his eyes, Fang Yuan's face was full of shock and panic. Killing intent had overtaken Wang De's brain. He could almost hear himself piercing Fang Yuan's skin, and his indignant last breath. You wish. Seeing that he was about to succeed, another person appeared, blocking Wang De's way. The 5th Gu Master rushed over from nearby. It's actually the love-life separation. This middle-aged man was unmoved by Wang De's crazy and ferocious demeanor. Rock-skin Gu. The middle-aged man activated his primeval essence, red steel primeval essence gushing out like smoke. His naked arms immediately turned from yellow to gray-white color. At the same time, both his arms expanded like balloons, forming a large and thick rock arm. As both parties got closer, Wang De's expression became more twisted and insane. The middle-aged Gu Master had a solemn expression as he stretched out both arms to grab Wang De. Trying to get me with this speed, Wang De showed a mocking expression. The middle-aged man's limbs were covered by a thick rock skin. Even Wang De's nails could not penetrate, but the arms were really too heavy and slow. Fang felt that he could easily evade them. "Really? Jade Wind Wheel," the middle-aged goo master shouted, and suddenly a pair of jade-colored cyclones circulated around his rock arm like armbands. The rock arm's speed immediately rose. "How can that be? Erg!" Wang De's face was shocked as he was swept by the rock arm and flew away. The middle-aged goo master was experienced in battle. If he had used the Goo Jade Wind Wheel from the start, Wang De might not have fallen so easily. Wang De was sent flying by the rock arm, falling on the ground in a mess. The chest that was hit felt pain. Puke! He barely got up, but could not help but vomit blood. 5% primeval essence left, I'm gonna die. He checked his aperture, laughing bitterly. Seeing Fang Yuan near him, he showed insane resolve on his face. Even if I die, you will join me. He ignored his injuries and rushed out. Block him. The middle-aged goo master was a pure close-ranged fighter with no long-range goo. At once he could do nothing. The old goo master had already arrived, his body's white hair turning into finger-sized spirals as they flew like nimble snakes, extending 5 to 6 meters and reached from behind, piercing Wang De's body. But Wang De did not care, rushing out regardless. Die, he screamed loudly, his 10 fingernails already 50 centimeters long. The middle-aged goo master chased after, and upon seeing this scene, his expression changed as he could no longer stop it. Seeing that Wang De was about to get his way, a bright blue jade light burst from the other side. Jade skin goo. Under the pressure of life and death, Fang Zheng screamed out loudly. Immediately, his skin was covered by a sturdy layer of jade skin. Wang De's fingers were like knife blades, stabbing at him. Although the love-life separation did not have strong attacking ability, the jade skin goo was only a rank 1 goo worm and could not block his nails. Howl! The elderly goo master, seeing Fang Zheng about to die, shouted frantically, and his eyes expanded. Even more snow-white needles shot out and pierced Wang De's body. After that, the needles worked like snakes, first piercing his back to his chest, the circulating around his neck, his arms, and his legs. Boiling blood poured from Wang De's body, immediately dyeing the white hair red. His entire body was covered by white hair, just like the wild boar who had fallen into a trap of green bamboo spikes, stopping his charge and being unable to move. An intense feeling of dizziness hit him. Wang De laughed pathetically. He knew that death was impending. How unsatisfying. His vision was dyed blur, and on his death moment, the most vivid memory in his life surfaced again. Wan he subconsciously called out his wife's name as the knife on his hand pierced her body. Why? His wife looked at Wang De, her beautiful face showing confusion and shock, tightly staring at Wang De's eyes. Wang De's eyes were red as his body shivered, forcing out a word from his mouth, sorry. His wife smiled slightly, her smile full of love. There was not a single drop of hate. I understand, she said. She wanted to stretch out her right hand, touching Wang De's face for the last time before she died. But in the middle, her hand dropped, killing his wife for her heart and refining love-life separation. From then on he had strength and went on the demonic path. Do you have regrets? From that day on, he constantly asked himself this. I regret it. He regretted so much that he would rather die. Thus he swore that he had to protect the remaining family members of his. But, if I could start from the beginning again, I would still do the same. Emotional tears poured from Wang De's red eyes. Fang Zheng stared at him, his body glowing with jade light. From start to end, he was in deep confusion and suspicion. An unfamiliar goo master rushed madly towards himself and wanted to tear him to bits, but Fang Zheng did not know him. Under the thick death aura, Fang Zheng could not move an inch. His mind was blank as he only subconsciously activated the jade skin goo. Wang De's nails pierced the jade skin and stabbed 1 centimeter in, but did not move any more. He died. He was full of tears when he died. It's over, Fang Zheng breathed roughly, his eyes losing focus and seemed rather hollow. Then a strong sense of dizziness overcame him. Plop! He also fell on the ground. Love-life separation, the strongest rank 2 poison. Although it did not pierce through all the jade skin, the poison already invaded his body. A wild boar almost as huge as an elephant was lying in the mud pit. It closed its eyes shut, half kneeling and half lying, a pair of tusks clean from soil, shining like sharp blades. The twilight reflected on its dark black fur. Its huge stomach was white and with each breath, moved up and down creating a snorting sound. Wild Boar King. Fang Yuan was several hundred meters away from it, but still carefully walked along with the direction of the wind. Even though I can kill wild boars now, against this Wild Boar King, I can only run away. Even an average rank 2 goo master cannot kill it. If he is not clear of the goo worms on its body, he might even fall prey to it. King of the beasts normally have goo worms inhabiting their bodies. On the Wild Boar King's body, there would normally be boar goo, such as pink boar goo or flower boar goo. Other than the boar species, there might also be beast skin goo or spike fur worm. In this world, there are all sorts of goo worms. Normally, goo worms reside in the bodies of strong wild beasts and live alongside the wild beasts. When the wild beast gets attacked, the goo worms will sense the danger and assist the wild beast in resisting the strong foe. This Wild Boar King's body was huge, and its strength greatly exceeded the average wild boar. Fang Yuan was no match against it alone, not to mention there was at least 1 or more mysterious goo worms in its body. However, Fang Yuan's adventure this time was not to kill the Wild Boar King. It was to avoid Wang De's pursuit. Wang De knew that Fang Yuan had the beast skin map, and Fang Yuan used that knowledge to his advantage, going nowhere but instead heading towards the Wild Boar King's danger-marking area. The Wild Boar King, although dangerous, was still a beast after all and had no human intelligence. Old Man Wang, as a mortal, could venture to this place and retreat safely, so why couldn't Fang Yuan do the same? Going on a reverse path, although seemingly dangerous, hid a way to survive instead. As he moved even further, the Wild Boar King was slowly left behind by Fang Yuan. On the map, it would seem like Fang Yuan took a big circle and went around the red cross, forming a concave curve. Finally, he reached the hill where several clan elders were staying and having the mid-year assessment there on the spot. An hour later, a youngster full of grass bits, his shirt torn in several areas and his feet full of mud, carried a bag and ran up the hill. This pathetic-looking youngster was Fang Yuan. I'm finally safely back here. At this place, there are clan elders to protect me and my safety is assured, but I cannot afford to be careless. Fang Yuan sighed in relief and slowly ascended the hill. The hill had a simple tentage, and tens of students were nearby as the academy's guards were collating the wild boar tusks in their bags. The few clan elders that were stationed here were missing, and only one was left. Why is the atmosphere so weird? Fang Yuan frowned slightly, acutely feeling something important had occurred. When he got near the tentage, he heard the students' discussions. Did you hear? There was an assassination earlier, and several rank 2 goo masters died. Are you serious? It's true. I came here early, and I saw Gu Yue Fang Zheng carried away by several clan elders, hurrying away. Gu Yue Fang Zheng is too unlucky to encounter something like this during the exam. You don't know, huh? The target was Fang Zheng because he is a grade talent. I wonder if he'll die. Even if he doesn't die, he's gonna be affected. Maybe his talent might drop after that injury. Fang Yuan's footsteps halted. He was clear in his heart, conjuring the truth of the matter. Wang De wanted to deal with me and avenge his kin, but after I found the treehouse, I changed my route and went towards the wild boar king. Wang De did not expect this and found Fang Zheng by accident instead. His source of information came from those hunters, and he did not know that I have a twin brother. He mistook Fang Zheng as me and wanted to kill me, but was stopped by the surrounding Gu masters who were protecting the area. Right now the question is, did Wang De die? Fang Yuan frowned tightly. Wang De successfully escaping, Wang De captured, Wang De killed, these three possibilities would greatly affect his future plans and actions. Thinking for a while, Fang Yuan decided to follow his original plan. The Academy Elder's expression was ugly. Fang Zheng was actually assassinated. Without any clues or evidence, he would not be able to guess that Fang Zheng had become Fang Yuan's scapegoat, but thought of the Bai clan and Qing clan. Fang Zheng was the only grade talent that the Gu Yue clan had for the last 3 years. The Bai clan and Qing clan would naturally not let him grow. Sending an assassin Gu master to kill him and prevent him from getting stronger, this was normal. Even the Gu Yue clan would do something like this, secretly sending Gu masters and targeting the other 2 clans' genius students. The assassin was killed on the spot, but I wonder how is Fang Zheng's injuries? Academy Elder thought, and at this moment his attendant brought him a piece of paper. Academy Elder received the paper, reading without paying proper attention. In this year's examination, the results are as follows. Gu Yue Kai Cheng 16 tusks, Gu Yue Mo Bei 14 tusks. The surrounding students' attention were obtained. The results were clear. D-grade students, even if they worked together, they could only obtain 3 to 4 tusks. B and C grades at most 8 to 9. Those with more than 10 tusks were the good performers. The best was Gu Yue Kai Cheng with 16 tusks. Next was Mo Bei, and as for Fang Zheng he had 10. Gu Yue Kai Cheng showed a smug expression. He was lucky this time and encountered 2 wild boars fighting each other, thus he got the easy reward. Gu Yue Mo Bei was indignant, allowing Kai Cheng to surpass him. The Academy Elder announced, "As such, I announce the number 1 student for this examination is." Halt! Fang Yuan stepped out at this moment. Fang Yuan, you are late. The examination ended an hour ago. According to the rules, the wild boar tusks that you obtain will be deducted by 4 as punishment. Kai Cheng immediately shouted. Fang Yuan ignored him and opened the bag on his back, grabbing the bottom of the bag and pouring out the contents. Crash! Dozens of wild boar tusks gathered into a pile by his feet. This, Kai Cheng stared with his mouth agape. Mo Bei and the others stared their eyeballs out at the pile. How can there be so many? This is too much. The Academy Elder looked at Fang Yuan in disbelief. Fang Yuan, did you hunt all these? Fang Yuan cupped his fists. I only hunted a dozen tusks myself, but I found a bag that could have been hidden by hunters. Inside it were many wild boar tusks. I thought about it. The exam was that we had to obtain as many tusks as possible within a day, and did not specify that we have to kill it ourselves, thus I brought it here. Once he finished, the crowd burst into discussions. How can this be? Way too lucky. This is too fake. Could the questions have leaked, thus he cheated? The Academy Elder stared at Fang Yuan, looking for a while, then declared, "This exam, Fang Yuan is the first." The family headroom's atmosphere was heavy. Gu Yue Bo sat at the leading seat, and the other dozen elders sat in 2 rows beside him, their faces full of rage. Gu Yue Yao Jai, you are the number 1 healer in our clan. I'm asking you, how is Fang Zheng now? Gu Yue Bo asked the clan elder. Gu Yue Yao Jai was an old woman with a hunched back, her face full of tree bark-like wrinkles. She coughed twice, slowly saying, "Reporting to clan head, the situation has stabilized." Fang Zheng's life is in no danger, but he is still sleeping. His talent did not drop because of this. Good if the talent didn't drop. Gu Yuebo breathed a sigh of relief. They asked the punishment hall's elder, has the assassin's situation been assessed? The punishment hall elder was not as senior as Gu Yue Yaojai and immediately stood up, lowering his head. Yes, 35 years old, male, identity unknown, possibly a demonic faction Gu master. He has 2 Gu worms, shadow follower Gu and love-life separation. Gu Yuebo nodded. Seems like an assassin, love-life separation. The rank 2 number 1 poison. No wonder he could kill 3 of my Gu masters. Clan head, we have to investigate further. It's either the Bai clan or the Zheng clan. Gu Yue Kai Lion shouted, his eyes almost bursting into flames. Shadow follower Gu, love-life separation. This is not like the Bai or Zheng clan's pawn pieces. He might be an outside demonic faction Gu master, wanting to get affiliated with the clans, thus being instructed to assassinate Fang Zheng to prove his loyalty. Regardless, this matter definitely has to do with the 2 clans, Gu Yue Mo Chen coldly said. These 2 clan elders in power, although they did not get along, once an external enemy appears, they would discard their hatred and knit tightly together. Gu Yuebo nodded, thinking the same himself. Wang De had disappeared for 3 years, with no traces to be found. The villagers all thought of him to be dead, thus his identity became a mystery. The Gu Yue higher-ups did not know this. They would not be concerned with a servant's death. They placed all their attentions on the Zheng and Bai clans. At this moment, the academy elder walked in. Clan leader. He looked worried and was about to speak when Gu Yuebo answered. Academy elder, Fang Zheng is fine. His talent is still a grade. The academy elder's face became relaxed. Oh yes, are the other students safe? And for this examination, how are their results? Which place is Fang Zheng? Gu Yuebo asked conveniently. The academy elder answered truthfully, and when he said that Fang Yuan had accidentally picked up a bag of wild boar tusks and got first place, Gu Yuebo's eyes shone. The hall too went silent. The clan elders, as if they sensed it, subtly observed the atmosphere, and the originally nervous environment became slightly more peculiar. In the discussion room, Gu Yuebo expressionlessly sat in the leader's seat with deep, meaningful eyes. The remaining dozen or so clan elders all sat upright, looking down, only using the corner of their eye to sweep the surroundings and discern some clues from their expressions. The atmosphere became delicate. Fang Yuan getting first place. The deeper meaning behind this is definitely not simple. He actually said he found a bag of hidden wild boar tusks. This is too unbelievable. This bag might have been prepared by someone. It is not possible for Fang Yuan to do it himself. That means someone is helping Fang Yuan in the dark. This year's mid-year exam is unlike the previous ones. We had to deploy tens of rank 2 Gu masters to invigilate the exam. Thus the contents of this examination, not only does the academy elder know, but many of the elders in the clan as well. If anyone wanted to prepare this bag in advance, it can only be the clan elders present here now, or even the clan leader. The clan elders were all shrewd foxes. After being in the political field for years, they immediately thought of many things. Fang Zheng was an A-grade talent. If he really reached rank 4, what did that mean? That would mean he is the next clan leader. Fang Yuan is Fang Zheng's brother. Even if he is only C-grade with that blood relationship, he is worth investing in. To the clan leader Gu Yuebo, if he helped Fang Yuan secretly, that would be bringing him into his faction. And to Fang Zheng, it was a good belt to tie him to the leader faction together. To the clan elders, Fang Zheng, who is the only A-grade talent in years, has already been absorbed into the clan leader's faction. If he was really nurtured, the clan leader's faction would be even stronger. However, if the clan elders made Fang Yuan into their own, using this layer of blood relation. It would be a good chess piece when dealing in Fang Zheng in the future. Thus, the 10 over people in this hall, they all had the motive to help Fang Yuan. But who? Gu Yue Kai Lion thought deeply. I did not recruit Fang Yuan, so who would help him secretly? Is it Mo Chen, that old man? Impossible. Although Fang Yuan killed his family servant, but that's just a servant. Even if they all died, it wouldn't hurt him. The clan leader is more possible, though. He took in Fang Zheng, so if he recruited Fang Yuan as well, that would increase his control over Fang Zheng. But in previous years, the norm is to recruit them during the year-end exam. Taking his action now during the mid-year, it is breaking the rules. Not exactly breaking the rules, but it really is throwing a curveball. Just exactly who thinks highly of Fang Yuan, even more than me? Gu Yue Mo Chen was also thinking. The truth is, after Fang Yuan killed Gao Wan and sent the minced corpse, he changed his impression of Fang Yuan and had the thoughts of recruiting him. But such actions only happened during the year-end, after the students graduated from the academy. Fang Yuan being recruited in advance, it struck Mo Chen by surprise. Gu Yue Bo's gaze was focused on Gu Yue Mo Chen and Gu Yue Kai Lion, the 2 elders in power. This clan leader had greater insight. Fang Yuan blatantly said a lie and got the first place. This action had the meaning of being fearless, thus sending a signal to everyone to show them that I'm protecting Fang Yuan. He is now my member, and you all better not touch him. Then who is this person? The political field in the Gu Yue clan was split into 3. Other than the clan leader faction, it was Gu Yue Kai Lion's Kai family and Gu Yue Mo Chen's Mo family. Gu Yue Bo knew that he himself did not take any actions to recruit Fang Yuan. Thus, the greatest suspect was Kai Lion and Mo Chen. These 2 old fellows, their acting is improving. Seeing their expressions, I really cannot tell. Don't tell me it really isn't them but some other small faction. Gu Yue Bo observed carefully as he investigated. He did not know that all the elders were like him, observing, suspecting, and deducing. The academy elder was also guessing, but he had always been in a neutral position outside of politics, thus his thoughts were simpler. So Fang Yuan has been recruited by a clan elder. No wonder he let go of Fang Zheng, Mo Bei, and Kai Cheng while extorting. That means the one who recruited him was either the clan leader, Kai Lion, or Mo Chen. This is good news. It shows that he has accepted reality and has started integrating into the clan. No matter what, he is now a member of the clan, so once he fully integrates, he will contribute his entire life to the clan. After a short silence, Gu Yue Bo could not see any more clues, thus he spoke. An eye for an eye, since the other party has started targeting Fang Zheng. Our Gu Yue clan is not to be trifled with. We will show them. Dark Hall Elder, formulate a plan for this matter and report to me afterwards. Yes, Sir Clan Leader. Dark Hall Elder immediately nodded. As for Gu Yue Fang Zheng, I'm afraid his heart might be damaged from such an encounter. He is an A-grade talent, and to our clan the status is monumental. From now on I will teach him personally, Gu Yue Bo said. No clan elders objected. Many people knew that the clan leader had already given much benefits to Gu Yue Fang Zheng in the dark. Now that he mentioned this, even though it violated the fairness rule, with sufficient reasoning, the clan elders could not stop him. As for Gu Yue Fang Yuan, Gu Yue Bo dragged his words. At once, all the clan elders paid their fullest attention. Was the clan leader hinting that he was the one helping Fang Yuan secretly? Gu Yue Bo looked at everyone's expression as his gaze swept through, but he was destined to be disappointed. Thus he could only continue. With his C-grade talent, he managed to get first place. It is not easy. Thus, in my personal name, I reward him 30 primeval stones. Academy Elder, pass my word and tell him to continue working hard. Yes, clan leader. The Academy Elder bowed as he received his orders. 30 primeval stones, such an ordinary reward. What does this mean? The clan elders frowned. No matter who absorbed Fang Yuan, this 30 primeval stones is my expression of goodwill. After all, there is still the Bai and Qing clan other than Gu Yue. Gu Yue Bo sighed in his heart. Fang Zheng was assassinated by external foes. Fang Yuan's cheating was internal conflict. Against external foes, one had to use hard-handed methods to retaliate, but for internal conflict, Gu Yue Bo chose to use the soft approach, in order to avoid too much internal conflict and result in the entire clan's strength being weakened. All right, this matter will be settled like this. Everyone may leave and do all your work well. The clan's prosperity has everything to do with your performances. Gu Yue Bo waved his hand. Yes, clan leader, we will take our leave. The clan elders left one by one, and after a few breaths' time, only Gu Yue Bo was left in the room. He sighed deeply, using his fingers to rub his two temples. As the clan leader, even if he was the person with the most authority in the Gu Yue clan, it did not mean that he had it easy. He needed to coordinate the interests of the different factions and could not do as he wished. The clan's forces were dispersed and intertwined through many generations of inheritance, and they all had long history, restricting one another. Against outside forces, he had to deal with the arrogant and rude Zheng clan village and the gradually rising Bai clan village. Internally, he had to resolve the complicated political conflict in the clan. Although he was middle-aged, he already had white hair all over. These years of being the clan leader, although I had sufficient resources, my cultivation has barely advanced. My heart is tired from all these tiresome clan affairs. Sometimes, I really want to be a lone cultivator, free and easy with no burden. That would allow me to move faster and I might travel even further in my cultivation path. Gu Yue Bo sighed in his heart. As long as one is in the clan system, they had responsibilities on them. Once they had responsibilities, it would not be easy to wholeheartedly cultivate. But on the reverse, if one is not in the system, the clan's resources would not be available to them, and without resources, their cultivation would come to a halt. This formed a contradiction, a weird loop. Because of this loop, many people's futures were ruined, burying an insurmountable number of talents and geniuses. Wang De is dead. 3 days later, Fang Yuan got the news. At the same time, he also heard from Jiang He that the 2 young hunters vanished when hunting in the mountains. As for the hunter whose right hand was broken by Fang Yuan, he committed suicide in his home out of depression. Jiang He looked at Fang Yuan meaningfully when he said the news. He had seen Wang De's corpse, thus recognizing him. But he did not dare to say Wang De's true identity. He was the stationed Gu master and held responsibility. As long as one is in the system, regardless of position, they had responsibility. Wang De became a demonic faction cultivator for 3 years, and Jiang He as the village Gu master did not investigate. If they really pursued responsibility, this would become the biggest flaw in his records, and his future in the clan would be ruined. The 3 hunters' peculiar deaths were covered up by him. Fang Yuan, since we're acquaintances, from now on you get a 50% discount when you purchase things from my cousin brother Jiang Ye's shop. During one time, Jiang He said this to Fang Yuan. Everyone else was dead, only Fang Yuan and him knew of this matter. But if the matter was revealed, it did not have a huge impact on Fang Yuan. He only killed 3 village servants, and even if he killed 30, the clan would not pursue it. At most he would pay tens of primeval stones as a punishment. Jiang He's bribery, Fang Yuan took it with ease. To him, this matter was full of surprise and danger, but the result was good. After this matter, Fang Yuan, who had no foundation within the clan, received half an ally and also a non-existent faction supporting him. This mysterious backer became Fang Yuan's second safety net. When he started showing his strength gradually, this safety net would have a crucial impact, at least able to allow him to cultivate until rank 2 without much opposition. At this point, he could feel clearly the Academy Elder's changing attitude towards him, into a more amicable one. Over 10 days passed in a flash. After Gu Yue, Fang Zheng, and Mo Bei advanced, Fang Yuan and Kai Cheng almost simultaneously advanced to rank 1 upper stage successfully. Although extortion continued, he no longer took Fang Zheng, Mo Bei, and Kai Cheng's primeval stones, and he started becoming more low-key, while his strength grew rapidly at a speed multiple times of his previous life. Time was like a white steed that flitted past a crack, and summer left with the arrival of autumn. In the Walden path, Fang Yuan stood once more before the giant boulder blocking the way. Due to the weather growing colder, he wore a plain and simple garment with long sleeves. But his body figure was no longer the thin sort like how it was a few months ago. His chest, 2 arms and legs, and abdomen all showed obvious muscle. These muscles were not as protruding as a stone, but it showed as a type of streamline, matching up with Fang Yuan's slowly growing body. Matched as well with his white skin, this gave others a type of youthful, full of vitality feeling. Starting from 3 days ago, the white boar goose stopped supplying me any increase in strength. That means I already have 1 boar's strength, thus reaching the flower wine monk's requirement. Today, I shall try pushing this round rock again. Fang Yuan's eyes shone as he took a step forward with his right leg, his left leg at the back, forming a bow step. His arms touched the surface of the round rock as he took a deep breath in and pushed with all his strength. The large boulder moved under the pressure of both his arms, moving slowly, gradually gaining momentum and rolling forward. The road before the boulder blocking the path was an inclined slope. Being turned into a round rock by the flower wine monk, it was most suitable for rolling. This must have been his intention, to allow the inheritor to push the boulder upwards and move it away. 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps. Fang Yuan slowly progressed, counting in his heart. Last week, I pushed it to 45 steps, and that was the limit of my stamina, forcing me to quit. This time, I wonder how far I can push it. 40 steps, 45 steps. A while later, Fang Yuan broke his original record, but that was enough for him to feel unbearably tired. 46 steps, 47 steps. Fang Yuan could feel strongly. At this point, his stamina was almost all gone. 48, 49 steps. He mustered all his strength and moved another 2 steps. Finally, he was at his limit, sweating profusely. Using his shoulder and leg to anchor the rock in place, he took a few deep breaths. Should I give up? Fang Yuan could not help but have such thoughts. This inclined slope, when returning he has to expend quite a bit of stamina as well. After all, the rock has to roll down and he had to slowly release it in the process. If he let go and ran, the rock would roll faster and faster. Fang Yuan did not want to get turned into a pile of flesh after being unable to avoid it. But thinking for a while, Fang Yuan felt indignant. Let's push it a few more steps. 50th step. He suddenly felt that the pressure from the huge rock had lightened. It had actually rolled into a straight platform. Fang Yuan pushed for a few more steps. After routing past the huge rock, he found himself in a secret room. This secret room was like the rock crack's secret cave. He temporarily named it the second secret room. There was nothing in the room. The 4 walls were a strange red soil, glowing red. On the other end of the secret room, there was a simple gray-colored rock door. It should be the hurried product of the flower wine monk. Fang Yuan rested for a while, but did not immediately open the rock door, as he had a new discovery. He found that the ground before the rock door was slightly damp. Don't tell me, Fang Yuan had a thought. He bent down, stretching out both arms and loosening the soil. The second Earth Treasury flower. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, carefully peeling the flower petals and retrieving the goo worm slumbering in the golden nectar. Once he deployed his primeval essence, it was instantly refined. This was a jade skin goo. Its appearance was like the bedbug, flat and wide with a small head, and its green body was oval in space, emitting a faint jade-colored glow. I obtained the white boar goo, and was still thinking where could I get a jade skin goo so I could refine it into the white jade goo. To think that the flower wine monk already prepared it for me. Fang Yuan contemplated, thinking about the significance of this jade skin goo. This is Fang Yuan's sixth goo worm. Although he had 5 already, none were defensive. Now that he had the jade skin goo, he could cover up his weakness in defense. At times, defense means offense. This was not hard to understand. Taking, for example, Fang Yuan's body. Using the white boar goo, his strength grew to 1 boar's strength. Theoretically, with this strength, he could smash a rock in 1 punch, but Fang Yuan never did such a thing. Because he knew his defense was not sufficient, so with 1 punch, the rock would break, but his fists would also turn bloody from the damage. Now that he had the jade skin goo, he could supplement the advantage he had in strength. Obviously, there were advantages and disadvantages. The jade skin goo had a high value, being one of the best defensive rank 1 goo. It was not easy to feed, consuming 2 pieces of jade rock every 10 days. Jade rock's market price was expensive, and the source was often the problem. Fang Zheng also has a jade skin goo, but he has the clan leader's backing, providing him with jade rocks. If Fang Yuan wanted jade rocks, he would have to buy them, and that could easily expose him. Originally, in feeding the white boar goo, I had to regularly kill wild boars, and that is already troublesome. With the addition of this jade skin goo, do I have to go dig in mines? Fang Yuan laughed bitterly, seeing a new problem in front of him. Keeping the jade skin goo, temporarily nurturing it in his aperture, Fang Yuan gradually opened the rock door. The rock door was heavy, and if Fang Yuan did not have the white boar goo's boost in strength, he would not be able to move it. But now, with Fang Yuan pushing it, the door slowly opened. The scene that was revealed to Fang Yuan caused his field of vision to expand all of a sudden. It was no longer a narrow tunnel or a secret room, but a large spacious plot of underground stone forest. Fang Yuan estimated at initial approximation, the stone forest size was over 30 mu. On Earth, a standard football field was only 11 mu. I should be inside Qingmao Mountain now. This underground space should be naturally formed. Fang Yuan looked up at the stone walls. The stone walls in this space were over 16 meters tall, and the ceiling was also made of stone. From the top, there were large dark red pillars erected. Each emitted a faint red glow, and so did the walls, just like the tunnel and secret room. The light, although dim, allowed Fang Yuan to see some things at least. Fang Yuan looked far, and each stone pillar was like an upside-down tree, except without branches, and only leaving the stem. The stone pillar's surface was not smooth, and was full of dark, eerie holes. Numerous pillars drooped down, forming an inverted stone forest within the mountain. Nature had its way with things. Fang Yuan, with his immense knowledge, was not shocked, but stared at the dark holes in the pillars, frowning more intensely. He had suddenly understood the flower wine monk's intention in placing the jade skin goo. If I am not wrong, Fang Yuan turned his right hand, and out came a moonblade. The eerie blue moonblade flew through the sky in an arc, precisely hitting a dark hole in the stone pillar. A shrill and angry sound came from the dark hole. With a swoosh, a gray monkey flew out from the cave and leapt towards Fang Yuan. Pow pow pow. Fang Yuan shot 3 moonblades. The monkey was in midair and could not adjust its position, but its tail was extremely agile, sweeping several times and causing its body to flip in midair. After avoiding 2 moonblades, it was finally hit by the third, plopping on the floor dead. It was dead without a drop of blood. Only its gray body turned to stone, and in a second its flesh and blood body became a stone monkey statue. The statue's posture and facial expression was just like the monkey right before it died, imitated to perfection. After 2 breaths' time, the stone monkey's surface cracked, and cracks developed all over its body. Finally, with a boom, its entire figure blew up into tiny rock fragments. It really is an underground colony of jade eye stone monkeys. Fang Yuan knelt down, sweeping the fragments aside and taking out 2 jade green-yellow pearls. These 2 pearls were the jade eye stone monkey's eyes. This strange animal would turn into gray rock fragments once dead, and only its eyes would turn into 2 jade green spherical pearls. Each were very heavy, reaching at least 50 grams. This meant that as long as he killed jade eye stone monkeys, the jade skin goo's food problem would be resolved. I not only have to feed the jade skin goo, I also have to continue the inheritance. Flower wine monk's next clue should be hidden in this stone forest. Fang Yuan frowned. Things had become complicated. He tried taking a few steps forward, his eyes peeled to the stone pillar. On his 7th step, on the pillar closest to him, numerous jade-colored glowing eyes could be seen peeking out of the stone holes. At once, a drop of sweat fell from Fang Yuan's forehead. He quickly took a step back, and the numerous eyeballs in the dark holes faded. Evidently, each pair of eyeballs meant a jade eye stone monkey. The jade eye stone monkey was terribly agile, and to kill one Fang Yuan had to use 4 moonblades. On a stone pillar, there were at least 100 jade eye stone monkeys, and in the entire forest, who knew how many were there in total. With Fang Yuan's current strength, he would die from being attacked by 4 monkeys. If he included the jade skin goo's defense, Fang Yuan could deal with 12 monkeys at once at most. Thankfully, these monkeys usually slept in their dark holes and ate rocks when they were hungry or thirsty. The stone pillar was their home and food. Unless he got within 10 meters of them or provoked them purposely, they would not come out. Using Earth's words, they were a bunch of neat hikikomori monkeys. The autumn wind rustled through the air, while the red leaves drifted aimlessly. The wild grass was dried yellow, and brilliant red or orange-yellow wild fruit hung from the tree branches. Harumph! A black-colored wild boar rushed madly with its 4 hooves on the ground, its mane pricking up. There was a thick layer of fallen leaves that accumulated on the surface of the mountain. As the wild boar rushed forward, a gust of wind was wedged between it, and the fallen leaves were sent dancing behind its body. Fang Yuan silently stood there, showing a cold, calculating expression as the wild boar got closer. Kill! He took a huge stride forward, and then both his legs stood firm, not dodging at all, facing the wild boar head-on. The wild boar's 2 snow-white tusks tore through the air with overwhelming killing intent. Fang Yuan turned his body to avoid the tusks, his shoulder knocking onto the wild boar's skull. When they were about to collide, Fang Yuan's shoulder shone with a faint green-colored light. Jade skin goo. Boom! With a loud crash, the 2 collided. Fang Yuan took 3 steps back, while the wild boar took 1 step back. To be fair, when comparing both sides' strength, Fang Yuan was stronger. But Fang Yuan ran with both legs while the wild boar used 4 to sustain its force, and at the same time, the center of gravity of the wild boar was lower and more stable than Fang Yuan. However, after being harshly hit on the head by Fang Yuan, although the wild boar was still standing, its fat body was already wavering. With a roar, Fang Yuan rushed up again, his left hand grabbing the wild boar's tusk, his right hand raising high in the air, the light green-colored jade glow forming a thin layer of protection covering his fist. Bam! His fist crashed strongly downwards and the wild boar screamed in pain, struggling intensely. Fang Yuan's muscles on his left arm tensed, and the green veins popped like centipedes encircling his arm as he restrained the wild boar with all his strength. At the same time, his right fist continued to raise and slam down on the boar. Bam, bam, bam. Every time his fist hit the wild boar's head, the green-colored glow on his fist would shine once. The wild boar was smashed into oblivion by the fist, and its struggle became weaker. Last strike, Fang Yuan's eyes glowed like lightning. He loosened his upper body, his right arm stretching straight and raised to the highest point before smashing down at full force. The green-colored jade light stuck to Fang Yuan's right arm and, following his movement, drew a green arc in the air. Bam! Fang Yuan knelt on the ground on one knee, his elbow harshly whacking the wild boar's skull. Even before the wild boar could cry out, its noise came to a stop. An entire pig head turned deformed, the broken white skull pierced through the black skin, exposing outside. Fresh blood and brain matter slowly flowed out, and in the layers of leaf litter, it infected an area of bright redness. The autumn wind blew. Leaves flew about as the scent of the pig blood emanated. Life is splendid just like the flowers of summer. Death is as delicate as the leaves of autumn, Fang Yuan muttered, appreciating this frame of scenery. The survivor lives brilliantly, while the dead is lonely and pitiful. Dead or alive, filled with intense difference, it reflected nature's cruelness and the excitement of life. No matter the world, the victor always gets all the fame, while the loser suffers defeat in the unrelentless world. Victory and loss to me means life and death. Because I walk on the demonic path, once I lose, it means death awaits. Fang Yuan got close to the corpse and sat on the ground, taking out the white boar goo, letting it consume the meat while his consciousness entered the aperture in his body. Within the aperture, the black green-colored primeval sea's tides turned and crashed, ebbed and flowed. When the primeval sea is full, it occupied 44% of the space. After an intense battle, Fang Yuan used the jade skin goo multiple times to raise his defense, and some primeval essence was expended. Thus there was only 36% primeval essence left. Counting the amount, he only used 8%, not even 10% of his total. But because this was the rank 1 peak stage black-green primeval essence, the expenditure was considered large. Rank 1 initial stage is jade green primeval essence. Rank 1 middle stage is pale green primeval essence. Rank 1 upper stage is dark green primeval essence. Rank 1 peak stage is black-green primeval essence. The essence was in concentration, the relative amount of a particular substance, contained within a solution or mixture, or in a particular volume of space. The moonlight goo's activation required 10% of jade green primeval essence, and in terms of pale green primeval essence, it was 5%. For dark green primeval essence, it further halved, and the same went for black green primeval essence. That is to say, 10% of black-green primeval essence was equivalent to 20% dark green, 40% pale green, and 80% jade green primeval essence. Using the jade skin goo cost 8% black-green primeval essence. If converted to initial stage jade green primeval essence, it would be 64%. If Fang Yuan was still at initial stage, his aperture would only have 44% primeval essence, and halfway through using the goo, his primeval essence would be completely expended. The higher the goo masters cultivation, the stronger their battle strength, and this shows in the primeval essence. The higher the stage, the darker the color of the primeval essence and the more durable it is. My black-green primeval essence was on the basis of upper stage primeval essence, refined by the liquor worm. It is unlike Fang Zheng, who is already rank 1 peak stage cultivation already. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's gaze shone. Time flies, it is already late autumn. 2 months had passed since Wang De's attempted assassination. Fang Zheng was poisoned and was in comatose for 7 days and 7 nights. Once he woke up, he was like a changed man, very hardworking and also cultivated extremely dutifully. Some people say, difficulties in life was wealth just like gold. Regardless of whether this saying is correct, Fang Zheng did emerge from this difficulty changed and obtained much experience. He was like a raw jade, and after some polishing, he finally showed the beautiful jade quality inside. He was the first to advance to upper stage, and not long ago, he was the first to advance to peak stage, leaving his classmates in the dust. The advantages of an upgrade talent has finally started showing. I am not far from peak stage either, at most half a month. In fact, I have been nurturing my aperture nonstop every day, but a C-grade talent really cannot compete with A and B grades, and I also have another reason. Fang Yuan laughed bitterly without sound as he thought of it. Once in a few days, he would have to kill jade eye stone monkeys to feed the jade skin goo. At the same time, he had to search inside the stone forest to find the next clue of the flower wine monk's inheritance. The stone forest was complicated with pillars of huge rocks drooping from the ceiling. If Fang Yuan was not careful and got too close to any pillar, he would trigger the attack of all the stone monkeys. A few times, he was chased by tens of stone monkeys and had to escape. The most dangerous time, when retreating, he stepped into another pillar's territory and ended up having up to 100 monkeys chasing after him. Luckily, these monkeys were sedentary, and every time they chased after him, they would not chase too far. After a distance, they would go back to their homes and continue being sedentary. Even so, Fang Yuan walked on the brink of death several times. During crucial times, the jade skin goo's defense came into good use. Such investigation and exploration caused Fang Yuan to devote much time and effort, and thus became the key reason why his cultivation was advancing so slowly. Even so, this is way better than my previous life. The stone forest exploration is not without results either. At least I already know that the walls around the forest have no problems. That means that the next clue of the strength inheritance should be somewhere in the forest. Fang Yuan continued thinking, but suddenly a shadow stepped over the dried branches and got close. This is a wandering old wolf. It had a brown fur coat, limping, and had one eye was damaged. Only the danger and alertness of its left eye remained. It stared at Fang Yuan tightly, its nose twitching. Wolves and dogs were the same. Using their keen sense of smell, it must have been attracted by the pig blood. Wolves were often in packs, but there were also lone wolves like this. There were competition in wolf packs as well, and to maintain the atmosphere in the pack, they would sometimes get rid of those crippled old wolves. Fang Yuan quickly stood up and silently looked at this old wolf. Back then, when he killed a wild boar, there would be little primeval essence left in his body, and that caused his fighting strength to greatly reduce. Thus, when he encountered other wild beasts, he would choose to avoid them. But these few months, his battle strength had increased tremendously, and with the jade skin goo against a crippled wolf, it was more than enough. The unrestrained mountain trees were everywhere with their red leaves. The setting sun illuminated the dark hour. A person and a wolf distanced 50 steps away, silently observed each other. In the wolf's eye, green light shone as it showed a cruel and cunning expression. Fang Yuan's eyes, however, were dark and eerie, his black iris emanating chilling intent. The white boargoo came out. It was full and returned to Fang Yuan's aperture satisfied. The old wolf looked at the wild boar. It had only bones and skin left. The meat was all eaten by the white boargoo. The wolf's eyes shone with green light and contracted. It first took a few steps back, then jumped into the bushes. This wolf was still alive till today. It definitely had some intelligence. It keenly felt Fang Yuan's danger and decided to retreat. Its entry and exit were both fast and abrupt. Without the wild boar's crashing sound, and without the tiger's growling. Against Fang Yuan, without a sound, the battle had started and ended. The main theme of life and death, such excitement born from great nature. Fang Yuan stood on the spot and did not give chase. This wolf did not have anything worth Fang Yuan's attack. But the next moment, the old wolf's crying was heard. The wolf's howling suddenly erupted and ended suddenly. Even so, there was a thick surge of death aura overflowing. Crack, crack. In the bush, there were sounds of twigs being stepped on. The sound was fearless and got closer, causing Fang Yuan's iris to shrink. Able to get rid of that sneaky old wolf in a second, his gaze became more and more chilly. The footsteps got closer, and soon the dark green trees at the side of the slope were forcefully separated. A tall man stepped forward, appearing in Fang Yuan's vision. He had black short hair, each strand standing straight up. The upper half of his body was naked. He had a large and thick body, the entirety of his body muscles bright red color. He was almost 2 meters tall, and during the cold autumn, he gave off the feeling of a mobile cauldron, his every breath able to raise the surrounding temperature. On his waist, several wild beast corpses were hanged. There were foxes, wild rabbits, and chickens, not to forget the old wolf who had just left. Seeing Fang Yuan, he was slightly shocked, but quickly took large steps and walked past Fang Yuan. Gu Yue Kai Shan. Seeing the large man's back leaving, Fang Yuan thought of his name. He was a representative of the Kai faction, having rank 2 upper stage cultivation. His experiences were similar to Fang Yuan even. This person was also very talented, having very great strength from young. At 10, he accidentally beat a family servant to death, and at 12 he could hold a heavy stone grinder and played it like a frisbee. Back then the family all thought well of him, thinking he was in a grade. But during the awakening ceremony, they tested that his talent was only B grade. He had an originally wild and untamable nature, looking down on everyone. But he quickly changed after this experience, becoming more mature. Even with B-grade talent, he was the top student in his level. After a year of studying, he graduated from the academy and fought his way to the top. Years later, he had already become an elite among the clan's rank 2 Gu masters. Happiness cannot teach a person life's true meaning, while only pain and suffering can. Clan, a youngster attends the awakening ceremony at 15 and enters the academy. At 16, they graduate from the academy and form a 5-person group and complete the clan's missions, at the same time inheriting the family fortune. From 16, they will fight and compete while continually raising their cultivation. As the missions get more dangerous, their status will also increase. Some die and some live. Some get injured and their cultivation level drops, living a plain life thereafter. Some become a rank 3 Gu master after all the hardship and advance to clan elder, being one of the higher-ups. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, thinking of many things. The more a Gu master cultivates, the harder it gets, and advancing becomes way more difficult. Coupled with dangerous and tough living environment, those that can advance to rank 3 are few to none. Speaking of which, it is almost winter. That means I've spent almost a year at the academy. Each year there are 2 examinations. The first is the mid-year exam with different contents each year. The second is the year-end exam, and the contents never change, being arena fights. After the arena fight, I would no longer be able to stay at the hostel, and I would need to move out. Move out, but stay where? Fang Yuan could not live with his aunt and uncle, which was what they wanted. In this world, 16 meant adulthood, the age to start reproduction. Coupled with Fang Yuan's numerous secrets, he needed to live independently. In my previous life, After leaving the academy, I was only rank 1 middle stage. This time, the situation is much better. I would be rank 1 peak stage by then. But with a C-grade talent, coming this far is really an achievement, although it had its costs, expending much of my primeval stones. Fang Yuan's eyebrows raised. He did not have many primeval stones left. Restricted by his talent, the primeval stones he expended for cultivation was much more than Fang Zheng, Kai Cheng, or Mo Bei. He raised 6 goo worms by himself. Furthermore, the liquor worm's refinement, nurturing the aperture, using the white boar goo to increase strength, they all needed primeval essence. After the primeval essence was used up, with a C-grade recovery speed, it could not satisfy his needs, so he could only use primeval stones and retrieve the natural essence within to replenish. Luckily, he had the spring-autumn cicada, and also retrieved 2 goo from earth treasury flowers. Thus, refining goo worms did not expend much of his primeval stones. This made him feel slightly better. But after this, when he leaves the academy, he needs to rent a house and get some income. After peak stage, it was to push for rank 2. This process would spend a lot of primeval stones. After rank 2, he still had to combine goo worms, and each combination attempt was a hefty cost. With all these factors, he was even clearer that his financial situation could no longer support him. Furthermore, he still had to continue feeding his goo worms and continue cultivating. If it wasn't for the mid-year exam, where he used the wild boar tusks to exchange for quite some primeval stones and alleviated the pressure, he would not have survived till now. Primeval stones, primeval stones. The flower wine monk did not give any primeval stones in his inheritance. What a shame. Extorting my classmates is still my most important source of income. But after graduating, the academy's allowance would stop, and I cannot continue extorting. But if I get first for the year-end exam, I can get 150 primeval stones as reward, Fang Yuan contemplated in his heart. If he could get first place, the 150 primeval stones would alleviate his financial difficulty for a while. Time flies, autumn leaves and winter comes. On the arena in the academy, 3 stages had already been built. Beside the stage, near the bamboo walls of the arena, there were tents and long tables and chairs. The academy elder, clan leader, and a few other clan elders were sitting below the tentage cover. There was a little snow in the sky. 57 students stood straight on the arena. Each of their noses were bright red from the weather, and every breath they took had steam coming out of their noses. The academy elder spoke loudly. In a flash, a year has ended. During this year, you were trained in the academy and have started to grasp the qualities of a goo master. Tomorrow, you will have the year-end examination to test the fruits of your hard work. Not only will the clan leader and clan elders come personally to watch, your family elders and seniors will also come to observe to pick excellent performing students to join their small teams. Your performances tomorrow will to a large extent affect your future. Getting first place, not only is it 150 primeval stones, but you also get an advantage in picking goo worms. Now, start the final cultivation check in your academic life. Saying so, the academy elder nodded to a goo master beside him. The female goo master received the instructions and called out the name from the list, Gu Yue Jinzhu. A young girl walked towards the goo master with a nervous expression. The goo master stretched out her hand, touching the young girl's abdomen. She closed her eyes to feel, then opened her eyes and declared, Gu Yue Jinzhu, rank 1 middle stage. Next, Gu Yue Peng. One after another, youngsters went up to check. Then they walked back down and returned to the group. Their expressions varied. Some were happy while others were upset. The worst result was naturally rank 1 initial stage, all being the D-grade talents. A large number of the students were rank 1 middle stage, and little of them were B grade, mostly C grades. Gu Yue Kai Cheng, the middle-aged female Gu master called. From the group, the shortest Gu Yue Kai Cheng puffed his chest and walked out. After checking, the female Gu master opened her eyes. Gu Yue Kai Cheng, rank 1 peak stage. Up till now, this was the first rank 1 peak stage Gu master. The clan elders present turned their heads. Some elders recognized, saying lightly, "This is Kai Lion's grandson, having B-grade talent, no wonder." Outside the tent, the youngsters also commented, "Kai Cheng is rank 1 peak stage, I wonder if Mo Bei is too. They are rivals after all." Being able to advance to peak stage, they are all A and B grades. We C and D grades encounter bitterness that cannot be envied. HMPH. Gu Yue Mo Bei snorted, seeing Kai Cheng's proud expression. He was annoyed. Gu Yue Fang Zheng clenched his fists, his lips tightly shut, as if he was stifling in his emotions. Gu Yue Mo Bei, soon the examiner called. The horse-faced Mo Bei quickly walked out. Gu Yue Mo Bei, rank 1 peak stage. With this declaration, he walked back and stared defiantly at Gu Yue Kai Cheng when returning. The examination continued, and the snow in the sky became smaller until it vanished. The cold, chilly air was rather refreshing. Gu Yue Fang Yuan, the middle-aged female Gu master called. Fang Yuan walked up expressionlessly. Soon after, she opened her eyes, looking at Fang Yuan in shock before declaring, "Gu Yue Fang Yuan, rank 1 peak stage." Rank 1 peak stage, did I hear wrongly? Fang Yuan cultivated to this level. The youngsters were shocked. He's just lucky, having the liquor worm to nurture his aperture. Even against the A and B grades, with his C grade he isn't at a disadvantage. Some youngsters said with envy. Especially those C-grade talents, they sourly said to console themselves. This isn't much. The liquor worm cannot refine rank 2 primeval essence. Fang Yuan would no longer have such an advantage anymore. Even if he is peak stage, he is still a C grade. This is of no concern to us. Mo Bei and Kai Cheng stared at Fang Yuan, but quickly turned their attention to Fang Zheng, who was still waiting for his turn. In their hearts, only the grade talent Fang Zheng was a competitor. "Brother, you've caught me by surprise, but from now on, watch carefully." Fang Zheng looked at Fang Yuan walking down. His eyes shone and revealed an anticipating expression. "Gu Yue Fang Zheng," the female Gu master finally said. The grade talent. The clan elders focused their attention to Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng walked out from the crowd. He could feel the pressure that these gazes were bringing him, causing him to become slightly nervous. But when he saw the clan leader Gu Yue Bo's smile, the nervousness in his heart melted. He walked in front of the female Gu master. She shut her eyes and then abruptly opened her eyes, saying in shock, "Gu Yue Fang Zheng, cultivation level rank 2 initial stage." Boom! The youngsters erupted into a wave of discussions. What, he reached rank 2? As expected of the grade talent genius. Incredible, he left Mo Bei, Kai Cheng and Fang Yuan in the dust. This Fang Zheng. At once Mo Bei and Kai Cheng stared at Fang Zheng in shock. Actually higher than in my previous life. Fang Yuan's eyelids drooped down as he laughed. He was not surprised, and after observing Fang Zheng's expression earlier, he could guess the result. A grade talent after all. The hope of our clan. This is the credit of clan leaders' nurturing. The clan elders praised. At once, Fang Zheng became the center of attention. Half a year ago, Gu Yue Bo gave him a jade skin Gu and asked him to be the first person to advance to rank 2. He did it. Clan leader, I did not disappoint you, I did it. From now on, I will achieve even more, getting the approval of the clan elders and the people around me. Brother, I've left you behind. You are no longer the shadow in my heart. I, Gu Yue Fang Zheng, am no longer the one from back then. Fang Zheng yelled in his heart, his eyes shining with a kind of brilliance. This brilliance is called confidence. The sun was bright after the snow passed. Gu masters streamed into the academy in the morning. The annual year-end exam has begun again. Heh, I wonder if the scene I saw from more than a decade ago when I graduated will be seen again. A middle-aged Gu master with long green hair cascading down his back stood outside the academy, reminiscing. Leader, get in, you love reminiscing. The young female Gu master beside him had blood-red lips, her hands placed in the pockets of her pants. There was a blade of grass in her mouth, and she rolled her eyes. Hehe, Yao Hong, don't rush. We have to get in anyway. Since the clan leader had arranged it already, our new members have been decided long ago. The green-haired Gu master laughed. The grade talent Fang Zheng. The female Gu master Gu Yue Yao Hong tutted in her mouth, saying unhappily, the clan leader's idea is to get us to babysit him. But this babysitting mission is not easy to accomplish. The green-haired male Gu master sighed, never mind, let's go in. As time passed, more and more Gu masters entered the academy doors and stood in the arena. These were male and female Gu masters. There were young faces, middle-aged and old people as well. Gu masters after graduating would come out and form small teams to complete the clan missions. The Gu masters that came to the arena were all the representatives of their groups, to assess the performances of the students and absorb them into their own teams. To the small groups, this was injecting fresh blood and expanding their group. To the newly joined members, under the guidance and teaching of the older members, they can swiftly adapt to the new environment and more effectively complete the clan missions and result in lesser deaths. The sun gradually rose as the students entered the fray. So many people today, the youngsters proclaimed. Quickly see, that is Lord Qing Shu. He is our Gu Yue clan's #1 person among the rank 2, and he is known for his mild and amiable temper. A person pointed at the green-haired male Gu master and shouted. Kaishan Sr. is here too. That is the Mo family's little Miss Mo Yan. Qing Shu, Kaishan, and Mo Yan were the rising stars of the Gu masters, known by all students. Their teams are too hard to get in. I am only D grade and my vital Gu is a gentle silk spider. I am meant to be a support staff. A youngster sighed, then asked his friend, you. Oh, I got it settled with relationships, through the godson of my uncle's cousin's sister. As the students observed the Gu masters, Qing Shu, Kai Shan, and Mo Yan also observed the students. Oh, there are 2 Gu Yue Fang Zhengs. Yao Hong saw Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng, shouting out subconsciously. The green-hair male Gu master Gu Yue Qing Shu helplessly sighed. Did you see the information I gave you yesterday? Fang Zheng has a twin brother. They look very similar in appearance, but his brother is only C-grade talent. Oh, so that's the case. I seem to have heard that the one who made poems when he was young was Fang Yuan. Are we getting him into the team? Yao Hong patted her forehead with her palm, saying whatever she thought of. Qing Mao shook his head. The clan leader specifically mentioned, do not recruit him. He seems to be wanting to observe something. The brothers don't have a good relationship anyway. Even if we want to recruit him, Fang Yuan probably wouldn't join. Yao Hong did not think much of it, muttering, among the groups, we are the publicly acclaimed #1. Joining us means a bright future. Any student would be interested. How could he be unwilling? Qing Shu laughed lightly. That's because you don't know him. Look at the information I sent you first. At this time, the clan leader Gu Yue Bo and the authoritative clan elders Gu Yue Kai Lion and Gu Yue Mo Chen entered, getting into the seats under the tentage. Not only the clan leader, but also Lord Kai Lion and Lord Mo Bei are attending this year. Seeing this, not only the students but also the Gu masters were excited. This did not happen in previous years. Nothing strange. Kai Lion and Mo Chen's grandsons are all in this year's class. Fang Zheng is the clan leader's successor. the hope of the future to go against by ending Bing. The clan leader naturally has to observe carefully. Discussions were aplenty among the people. Perform well, brother. Mo Yan looked at Mo Bei among the people, silently praying in her heart. Her group had the most people, it was of the largest scale. Thus there were a bunch of Gu masters around her, showing her imposing aura. As her most intense rival, Gu Yue Kai Shan from the Kai faction was standing alone, his huge figure easily acting like a giant red tower in a sea of people, standing out extensively. After checking out Kai Cheng, he retracted his vision. With a speech from the clan leader, the year-end exam began. The 3 stages held fights at the same time. At once, shouting noises, sounds of moonblades flying, and the sounds of punches and kicks, as well as the discussions of the Gu masters below the stages fused into a loud banter. This year's physical fighting skills is high. Soon, Yao Hong saw the difference. Hehe, all thanks to Fang Yuan, Gu Yue Qingshu laughed. What do you mean? Yao Hong did not understand. Qingshu explained to her. Yao Hong exclaimed in shock after listening. Fang Yuan, this lad, he's really daring, almost to the point of fearless. Hehe, bullying even his own brother. This is interesting. She looked towards Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng from the crowd, thinking internally, which is the elder brother and which is the younger one. Next, Gu Yue Jinju against Gu Yue Mo Bei. On the arena, the hosting Gu master shouted. Gu Yue Mo Bei leapt upwards, and Jin Zhu walked up the stage with a serious expression. The two paid respects to each other and said no more, fighting at once. Moonblades danced in the air. The two continued to shoot and at the same time, moving and evading non-stop. Although a girl, Jin Zhu had good basic skills and was able to fight equally with Mo Bei for a while. But as time passed, her stamina could not keep up, and she started to be suppressed. Finally, with her body full of sweat and having no energy left, she surrendered. Mo Bei, on the other hand, was not even fazed. Increasing endurance Gu He, probably the yellow camel longhorn beetle Gu. Below the stage, Fang Yuan observed, quickly seeing through Mo Bei. Fang Yuan had 6 Gu worms, but that was an exception. Among the people of his age, they all had 1 or 2 Gu worms. Not only because of the financial stress of feeding Gu worms, but also because the Gu worms' usage needed constant practice to accumulate experience. Greed for more would backfire. The students only started interacting with Gu worms and just began on their cultivation journey. 2 Gu worms were enough for them to practice. Only an exception like Fang Yuan, with his rich experience from his previous life, could easily grasp every Gu worm that comes into possession and use them to the very best he can. The exam continued. Damn, jumping like a rabbit. On another stage, a youngster angrily shouted, Gu Yue Kai Cheng, you're not a man, do you dare to fight with me physically? Tusk, only a fool would fight close range with you. On the stage, Gu Yue Kai Cheng laughed in disdain. He used the scarlet pill cricket Gu and jumped around, his body being very agile. His opponent only had a flower boar Gu. Even if he could temporarily raise his strength by 1 boar, it was useless. Kai Cheng would not go hand to hand with him. Finally, he got hit by a moonblade from Kai Cheng and lost too much blood, retiring from the fight. The healing Gu masters below the stage quickly rushed up and treated his injuries. As time passed, more and more students were mercilessly eliminated, and many youngsters also started to show their abilities. Kai Cheng Mo Bei, Fang Yuan, Fang Zheng. Until noon. The D-grade talents were all eliminated. They had limited talent and all chose support-type Gu worms for production line or transport, which suited their lives. Thus, they had little help in battles. Little junior sister, your vital Gu is a life breath grass right. My group needs a healer Gu master. Senior, I wish to join your group. My vital Gu is a moonlight Gu. Sorry, we are not lacking any attack-type Gu Master. There. The small groups quickly recruited newbies, and the students also chose the groups they wanted. The fights on the stage did not have much visual appeal, and after a few rounds there were not many highlights. It was even boring. This was because most people chose the Moonlight Gu, and to most people the fight would start with shooting moonblades. Whoever expended their primeval essence first would lose. If both parties had no more primeval essence, they would fight with punches and kicks. At the end, one will fall. Be it students, Gu masters, or clan elders, they got bored watching and some were about to fall asleep. Until evening, there were only less than 10 students left on the stage. Finally ending, some Gu masters lifted their spirits, shrugging off the sleepiness. At this moment the Gu master shouted, "Next round, Gu Yue Fang Zheng versus Gu Yue Mo Bei." Fang Zheng and Mo Chen both walked up the stage. "Fang Zheng, don't think that I will lose just because you have rank 2 cultivation. Today I will challenge and beat a higher realm." Mo Bei gritted his teeth, his expression solemn, cheering for himself in his heart. Against the rank 2 Fang Zheng, he indeed felt a strong sense of pressure. "Come," Fang Zheng roared, rushing out ferociously. Mo Bei's heart jumped. This Fang Zheng wasn't acting according to plan. Normally, they would first shoot moonblades before using hand-to-hand combat. But this time, he actually rushed up immediately and wants to fight physically. Isn't he afraid of getting injured by my moonblade when exchanging punches and kicks? Mo Bei was perturbed. He was naturally not worried for Fang Zheng's safety, but knew that if they engaged in close combat, with such a short distance, if Fang Zheng shot a moonblade, it was unavoidable. Mo Bei quickly took a step back, attempting to pull some distance. At the same time, he shot out a moonblade with a flick of his wrist. Fang Zheng was unfazed, taking a tumble and avoiding the moonblade, continuing his pursuit. At the same time, a lump of lunar energy collected in his palm. Mo Bei looked at the moonlight in his hands that hasn't been fired and felt tense in his heart, quickly taking steps back. Although he worked hard in close combat and also trained his moonblade, he was still inferior to Fang Zheng, who was nurtured personally by the clan leader. Mo Bei was not suited to this style of combat and quickly fell into disadvantage. That side is interesting. The battle on this arena attracted much attention. They're actually fighting so closely, this Fang Zheng has guts. Yao Hong could now discern who is Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan had a cold expression and emitted an aura of maturity, while Fang Zheng was steel-willed, radiating a sunny aura. It must be the clan leader's teaching. Normally when students fight, they would be 10 meters apart. Further than this distance and the moonblade would dissipate. If they fought closer than this distance, the students would not react in time. Gu Yue Qing Shu's gaze shone. Fang Zheng's battle distance now has shrunk to 6 meters, but his ability to avoid the moonblade is proficient. It seems that not only is the clan leader helping Fang Zheng, but Fang Zheng also put in some hard work and went through much hardship. "Little brother," Mo Yan, seeing Mo Bei forced into a corner by Fang Zheng, showed worry and panic on her face. She really wanted to go in and help out, giving Fang Zheng a good beating. Kai Shan, however, was expressionless, only watching and not speaking. After Fang Zheng got close to Mo Bei and shortened the distance to 6 meters, he no longer got closer, but used the Moonlight Gu and entered a firing contest. Mo Bei tried hard to improvise. His actions were in a mess, and many times he was almost hit by the moonblades, constantly in danger. Fang Zheng, on the other hand, already had his winning formula. Even if he could not evade in time, he still had the Jade Skin Gu, and as long as he uses the Jade Green Glow in time, he would be able to block the moonblade. Seeing how Mo Bei was defenselessly beaten by himself, Fang Zheng's thoughts flew back to a time in the past. Under the moonlight, the clan leader taught him the evasion movement step by step, unreservedly imparting him all the experience he had. "Clan leader, I will not let you down." Fang Zheng's eyes shimmered with hope. He was getting braver as he fought. "Fang Zheng, you have the talent and the endurance studiously training. The result is all because of your blood and sweat. This is the fruits of your hard work. Continue like this, Fang Zheng. Using this aura, go and show your brilliance." Under the tentage, the clan leader excitedly cheered on inwardly. Even though he looked like he was quietly watching the fight, his lips curled into a smile. Although Mo Bei struggled furiously, resisting adamantly, but after 15 minutes, his entire body was full of injuries, the blood oozing out and dyeing his shirt red. The organizing Gu master, upon seeing such a scene, announced, "The victory goes to Gu Yue Fang Zheng." "I haven't lost yet," Mo Bei shouted loudly, his entire bloodbath body wavering in the air. But after struggling to no end, he was forced to receive treatment by the healing Gu masters. A battle of such an intensity is already beyond the graduating standard. And a grade talent is after all a genius. I heard he received personal guidance from the clan leader. Can he not be amazing? Seeing such a result, the Gu masters below the stage praised endlessly. Gu Yue Fang Zheng panted as he walked down the stage. 3 Gu masters came to him and healed him, while also providing free primeval stones to allow him to quickly recover his primeval essence. After resting for a while, he recovered to his peak condition and ascended the stage again. This time, he was against Gu Yue Kai-Cheng. Kai-Cheng looked at Fang Zheng, laughing dryly. "Very good. Fang Zheng, you defeated Mo Bei, that rascal. If I defeat you now, it would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone." He seemed very confident. Fang Zheng's lips remained tight, as he said nothing but rushed towards him. "Dragon Pill Cricket Gu," Kai-Cheng's thought flashed, and immediately an orange-red-colored glow came from both his legs. He leapt lightly and instantly retreated 10 meters away. The distance that Fang Zheng had just shortened was immediately lengthened. "Heh." Kai-Cheng got smug and laughed. "Fang Zheng, you have no speed increasing Gu, and with your 2 legs you cannot catch me. Although this stage isn't big, it is enough for me to maneuver. Your tactic might have worked on Mo Bei, but against me it is ineffective." "Is that so?" Fang Zheng stopped his movements and stood on the spot, staring intently at Kai-Cheng. He smiled, his eyes showing iron will, shouting loudly, "Continue dodging like that, but every time you use the Dragon Pill Cricket Gu, you have to use a certain amount of primeval essence. You have merely rank 1 peak stage green copper primeval essence, but I am already at rank 2 red steel primeval essence, 3 times your endurance. Your talent is inferior to me as well. At the end, you would run out of primeval essence and the loser will be you." "You?" Kai-Cheng was shocked. He only saw his advantage but did not notice his weakness. Right now, he could not help but agree with Fang Zheng, and his fighting spirit dampened. "What, Fang Zheng is rank 2? The surrounding Gu masters gasped. The examination results were only obtained the day before, thus they were only spread among certain people, so most of the crowd did not know about it yet. And a grade talent, no doubt. Amazing. This Fang Zheng might really be the rising star of our clan. Bai clan has that Bai Enning Bing. He is really too powerful. If Fang Zheng can grow up, he might be able to resist Bai Enning Bing. This lad is interesting. Getting to rank 2 in the academy and with such solid basic skills, this is such an uncommon scene. No wonder the clan leader poured so much effort into him," Yao Hong muttered. Qing Shu replied, "The clan leader's guidance is only part of it. Don't look down on this lad. Ever since he survived the assassination incident, he has become very hardworking, cultivating to the best of his limits. He is a good seedling with both talent and hard work. If he can grow up. Sai, I feel like my burden is increasing." "Heh." Clan leader Gu Yuebo laughed lightly. Kai-Cheng's weak nature was analyzed by him to Fang Zheng. Now that he saw Fang Zheng using it to his advantage, Gu Yue Bo was very pleased. It seems that Fang Zheng is this year's #1. Beside the clan leader, Gu Yue Mo Chen said. Gu Yue Kai Lion snorted, staring at the scene intently. He obviously wished for his grandson to win and defeat Fang Zheng. That way he would win honor for the Kai faction. But things do not go as he wished, and on the stage after getting demoralized, Kai Cheng could no longer display his 100% ability against Fang Zheng and made continuous mistakes. Eventually, Kai Cheng was caught with a fatal flaw and was swept down the stage. Gu Yue Fang Zheng wins, Gu Master announced. Gu Yue Kai Lion's face was black. At once, Fang Zheng was famous, getting all the attention from the clan people. Fang Zheng beat Mo Bei and Kai Cheng simultaneously with wits and courage. It seems he is the first place this year, some people praised. Makes sense, I think well of him as well. Too bad he cannot join our group. As the groups choose students, students are also choosing groups. A seated student like Fang Zheng was already long booked. Fang Zheng is the clan leader's faction, while Mo Bei, Kai Cheng are the Mo faction, Kai faction's future leaders. This way, it seems that the Gu Yue clan would be heavily dominated by the clan leader faction, suppressing the two clan elders. Some people could see even further. On the other two stages, the battles continued. Fang Zheng walked down the stage long ago, hearing the people's praises, his heart roaring as he felt himself being reborn. Different, it was very different from before. His heart was filled with the excitement of recognition, the anticipation of being appreciated, and the joy of being commended. A gust of winter wind blew, and although he felt the chilly wind, Fang Zheng could only feel the sense of warmth like the summer day. Last match, Gu Yue Fang Zheng versus Gu Yue Fang Yuan. A while later, an announcer shouted, "The final battle, Gu Yue Fang Zheng versus Gu Yue Fang Yuan." Oh, interesting. To think that at the end, it is a showdown between brothers. Fang Zheng. Seeing this, the clan leader's smile faded slightly. The greatest obstacle in your heart is your brother Fang Yuan. Go ahead and defeat him. You have red steel primeval essence while also having the jade skin Gu. With both offense and defense, you have the greatest advantage. Break apart this obstacle in your way, and you shall be reborn. The final match finally started. The two brothers stood on the same arena, staring at each other. The last remaining sunrays were like blood. The light of the sunset was like a luxurious carpet for the arena. Two very similar faces. The little brother's fighting spirit burned on, while the older brother's gaze was deep as the abyss. "Brother," Fang Zheng's fists were clenched as he stared intently at Fang Yuan, speaking with a firm voice, "Admit defeat. I am already rank 2, and I have over 80% red steel primeval essence. Your green bronze primeval essence is only 44%. You have no chance." Fang Yuan lightly looked at his brother. "You are surely clear about my primeval essence, but it's better if you don't spout nonsense. If primeval essence can decide the victory, what's the point of fighting?" Fang Zheng was stunned, but soon he raised his spirits, and his vigor could be seen burning in his eyes. In truth, in the deepest part of his heart, he also did not want Fang Yuan to admit defeat. But Fang Yuan was his older brother after all, thus in view of their relationship he had to say it. If not, that would be too cruel. Since Big Brother is so determined, then I have no choice but to attack. Before he finished his sentence, Fang Zheng rushed towards Fang Yuan. This again. Below the stage, Mo Bei, looking at this scene, gritted his teeth. He made up his mind to harshly train himself after going back and return this humiliation tenfold to Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan is finished. He does not have my dragon pill cricket Gu. Kai Cheng folded his arms and smirked, enjoying Fang Yuan's troubles. Fang Zheng sprinted and instantly shortened the distance. In his hand there was a ball of moonlight. Fang Yuan's expression was like steel. There was not a single change as he looked at the charging Fang Zheng. He did not take a single step away, but blue-colored moonlight also gathered in his right palm. Suddenly, Fang Yuan took a firm step after stomping the ground, and moved towards Fang Zheng instead of backing away. Fang Zheng did not expect Fang Yuan's movement. He panicked internally and quickly fired a moonblade. Fang Yuan rushed quickly and twisted his body, avoiding the moonblade by a hair's breadth. His expression was cold, without any shouting or aggression, but in his silence there was an aura of absolute iciness emitting from him. Fang Zheng subconsciously took a few steps back. His limit was 6 meters, but now Fang Yuan was 5 meters away from him. This time he had to be the one trying to increase their distance. Dun dun dun. Fang Zheng retreated while flicking his right wrist several times, sending moonblades flying to try and push Fang Yuan back. Fang Yuan took fluid steps that were one after another, his body extremely agile. He moved intensely, and every time he managed to avoid the moonblade with no margin for error. "This Fang Yuan is even more daring," Yao Hong shouted. "Such a battle, they've disregarded death already," Qing Shu also exclaimed. "Another battle maniac," Mo Yan gritted her teeth, giving a glance at Kai Shan, who was not far away. Kai Shan was expressionless, but his eyes glimmered occasionally. The noise from the audience stopped. They were all captivated by the battle on the stage. The moonblades and Fang Yuan brushed past each other. From time to time, there was a blue light that would reflect upon Fang Yuan's face. His cold expression remained as it was without any change, and each time he narrowly evaded death, showing his extreme battle talent. The clan leader and clan elders all showed a serious expression. Kai Cheng and Mo Bei stared with their mouths wide open, looking at Fang Yuan dodging every single moonblade in an impossible manner. How did he do it? Numerous students had a giant question mark on their heads. HMPH, Fang Yuan, who had 500 years of battle experience. How can he be compared to Fang Zheng, who was only taught for a year by a rank 4 Gu master? In Fang Yuan's eyes, Fang Zheng was as thin as a clear stream. No matter how the stream flowed or turned its way among the mountain rocks, he could see through it clearly to the bottom of the river. The moonblade's every attack was not instant, it needed a process. Fang Zheng had to flick his wrist, and that was the greatest foretelling. In Fang Yuan's eyes, Fang Zheng's shoulder movement, the movement of his wrist, every step he took provided a large amount of information. Fang Zheng's every attack, evasion and dodging was easily seen through by Fang Yuan. Even as to what was going on in Fang Zheng's head, Fang Yuan could guess to a degree. Fang Zheng's mind right now was flabbergasted. Fang Yuan was the obstacle in his heart for more than 10 years, the shadow quickly expanding into darkness, dragging him into the abyss. The nervous emotion made him forget to use the jade skin goo. Fang Yuan's strong approach caused him to panic, and he was unable to regain his tempo, thus not allowing him time to think. This was the difference in experience. This was the difference between inside knowledge. In Fang Yuan's perspective, his inside information was even more important than the spring-autumn cicada. It was his greatest reliance. He was able to not rely on the clan leader, family, friends, or goo worms. He had always and only relied on himself. In this world, only oneself is the most reliable. Those teammates and battle partners, they were just the masks of weaklings, the excuse to anticipate help from others. He finally reached near Fang Zheng. Bam! Fang Yuan's punch was pulled from a hidden angle, smashing right into Fang Zheng's stomach. Fang Zheng's body curled as the force of the fist almost caused him to vomit. He quickly protected his head with his arms and took a large step back. At the crucial moment, it showed his steady basic skills. Where is he? Fang Zheng's eyes stared wide, looking around from the gap between his arms, trying to find Fang Yuan's location. Behind, with this thought, Fang Zheng felt a strong force at his waist. He lost his center of gravity and fell on the ground. But Fang Zheng had gone through tough training. With this movement, he flipped around on the ground and at the same time shot out a moonblade from his palm towards his back. This movement was the battle experience imparted by the clan leader. If it was a normal person, they might follow closely behind Fang Zheng. If they could not react in time, they would be hit by the moonblade. Even if the moonblade did not hit, they would be forced back. But who was Fang Yuan? Even Gu Yue Bo could not compete with him in terms of experience. Fang Yuan moved steadily, not giving chase. Instead, he moved in a circle and got near to Fang Zheng. The moonblade only managed to hit air. Fang Zheng thought he was able to pull some distance and quickly stood up. He was about to reorganize himself, but he suddenly heard a swoosh sound. This is the gust of a punch. At that split second, Fang Zheng had such a thought. Immediately after, he was harshly hit in the ear by Fang Yuan's fist. Bam! He immediately felt his vision darken, and a strong sense of dizziness caused him to lose balance, completely collapsing on the ground. He sprawled on the ground for over 2 breaths' time, and finally he recovered slightly. His vision became clearer, seeing Fang Yuan's 2 feet right beside him. He suddenly understood how ugly his situation was. He was sprawled on the ground like a dog, while Fang Yuan stared at him from that high position. Damn it! Fang Zheng was furious and tried to get up. Under everyone's eyes, Fang Yuan lifted his right leg and stepped down firmly. Bam! Fang Zheng's head was harshly stepped on, like a rock hitting the stage, making a loud sound. Fuck! Fang Zheng raged and tried to get up again. Fang Yuan stared coldly, trampling down once again. Bam! Fang Zheng's head hit the stage again. His scalp knocked open and blood bled non-stop. Damn it! Fang Zheng's teeth were about to be crushed from his clenching, and the rage in his chest burned through his entire body. He raised his head again, trying to get up. Bam! Fang Yuan's third step came down. This time he continued to step on his head, not letting go. Under the immense force, Fang Zheng's face was harshly squeezed on the stage floor. Fang Zheng's face was almost deformed, and he breathed raggedly, struggling to no avail. He felt that on his head there was a huge rock that would not move no matter how he struggled. Right, how could I forget I have the moonlight goo? Under the despair, Fang Zheng's inspiration struck, and he thought of the moonlight goo. His right palm gathered moonlight again. But how could Fang Yuan not notice? With a light sound, he shot out a moonblade onto Fang Zheng's right palm. Arg! Fang Zheng cried out, the immense pain sending his body into a spasm like he was struck by lightning. His palm was almost pierced through by Fang Yuan, showing his white bones. The moonlight goo on his palm was already struck a great blow. It was on the brink of death. These 2 brothers really aren't on good terms, Yao Hong mumbled. This Fang Yuan is too cruel, treating his brother like this. Many people frowned unhappily. Fang Yuan is too savage, extorting our primeval stones for an entire year. Now he's treating his brother like this. The students gritted their teeth. Fang Yuan's coldness forced out their hatred towards a common enemy. Fang Zheng, stand up, defeat Fang Yuan, some unknown student shouted. Defeat Fang Yuan, defeat Fang Yuan. Instantly, many youngsters shouted. This Fang Yuan is indeed a hated person. Mo Yan snorted, enjoy his predicament. Fang Zheng, hang in there, stand up. Defeat this monster Fang Yuan. Fang Zheng, stand up, we're with you. Fang Zheng, you can do it, you can do it. The crowd cheered on fiercely, and sounds of encouragement entered Fang Zheng's ears. Huff, 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 huff. Fang Zheng gasped heavily. As the sounds entered his heart, it gave him an unimaginable strength. The scenes of the past played in his head. On the streets, the clansmen's comments. That's Fang Yuan, the future genius. He is not to be underestimated. Who's that behind him? Oh, probably his brother, who knows what his name is. Uncle and aunt laughed. Fang Yuan, now the entire village is discussing the new poem you wrote. This is very good. Uncle and aunt are proud of you. Fang Yuan waved his hand, saying calmly, I only made those on a whim. Uncle and aunt nodded, saying to Fang Zheng, learn well from your brother. If you are half as talented as your brother, we would not have to worry. Under the moonlight, deep in the courtyard, clan leader Gu Yuebo looked at Fang Zheng, saying gently, Fang Zheng, have confidence. You must find your purpose, believe in yourself. But Sir Clan leader, Gu Yuebo patted his shoulders, encouraging, the shadow in your heart, others cannot dispel it for you. You can only rely on yourself. I await that day. The night before the year-end exam. Shen Kui looked at Fang Zheng with love in her gaze under the lamp lights. Young master, I believe that you can get number 1. I have always believed it. Work hard. The morning before departure. Uncle and aunt stood at the doorstep. Fang Zheng, after the year-end exam you would be leaving the academy. Seeing your growth, we are very happy. Go and show everyone the strength of a grade. And under the setting sun, in a dark corner, a female classmate cried profusely. The allowance is only 3 primeval stones, but Fang Yuan snatched a piece away, leaving me with 2. I'm almost unable to feed my moonlight goo at this rate. Fang Zheng's heart softened. This is my primeval stone, I'll lend it to you. The female classmate took the primeval stone, saying with tears, Fang Zheng, you are too nice. Please defeat your brother and end his tyranny in the academy. Fang Zheng was silent. A bunch of classmates appeared in front of him. Fang Zheng, you are a grade talent, you can do it. Fang Yuan is too much, constantly bullying us. You are our only hope. Fang Zheng, from today onwards, we're with you. We will always support you. Everyone. Fang Zheng observed the surroundings, seeing the concerned pairs of eyes, and felt extremely touched. Everyone has expectations of me. My classmates, Uncle Aunt Shen Kui and Sir Clan leader. Everyone is waiting for me, looking at me, supporting me. How can I lose? How can I fall here? How can I? Boom, 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 boom. His heart pounded in his chest, and Fang Zheng's eyes shone with brilliance. I cannot fall here. I will dispel the shadow and stand up. Fang Zheng's fists were tightly clenched, no longer feeling any pain at this point. He felt a lion in his chest, awakening from its sleep and opening its huge mouth to roar. Hot blood boiled in his body. Stand up, stand up. Break the shadows, break the darkness. Argh. Fang Zheng opened his mouth wide to shout, his body starting to emit a green jade light. What's that? The crowd silenced. Jade skin goo, someone shouted. Bam! The students roared towards the heavens. Fang Zheng, you can do it. Fang Zheng, we have your back. Finally, only one last cheer remained. Stand up, stand up. Everyone, I can hear your voices. Fang Zheng clenched his fist, his teeth almost crushed. Fang Yuan's pressure was no longer so imposing. He could finally get up, slowly and steadily. The shouting intensified. He's burning with anger. He's going to do a comeback. Gu masters, hearing such cheers and excitement from the crowd, were all starting to feel moved. That's right, Fang Zheng, that's right. Stand up, abandon the past, dispel the shadow and stand up. You will become a new person. Clan leader's eyes shone with bright light as he cheered Fang Zheng on in his heart. Jade skin Gu. Fang Yuan's eyelids drooped. He pulled back his leg and saw Fang Zheng stand up slowly, the jade skin Gu's radiance turning his face green. Fang Zheng had always been hiding this trump card up till now and did not reveal it to anyone. Thus, nobody knew about it. Fang Zheng got up. The crowd's cheers exploded. He stood up. Clan leader was moved, uncontrollably standing up from his seat. At this moment, he saw the rise of an grade talent. He saw the future of the Gu Yue clan. I stood up, brother. I will defeat you. Fang Zheng's eyes burned with determination, his entire body enveloped in bright green light like he was wearing a jade armor. Oh wow, this defense, even the moonblade can't pierce it. It seems Fang Zheng wins. Yao Hong raised her brows, blowing a whistle. Indeed, even with the little light Gu's reinforcement hitting on this barrier, it would only cause Fang Zheng's primeval essence to be consumed faster. But comparing primeval essence expenditure, Fang Yuan is no match for Fang Zheng. After this match, Fang Zheng is going to rise. Qing Shu laughed lightly. Fang Zheng had a jade skin Gu but only used it now. It seems Fang Yuan's earlier attacks confused him, but now victory is already waving towards him. Mo Yan folded her arms, her gaze slightly uncertain. Time seemed to have paused. On the stage, the brothers faced each other. The two's distance was so close yet so far. Fang Zheng's firm determination, Fang Yuan's eternal indifference. Little brother, he looked at Fang Zheng peacefully, his lips curling into a smirk. Thinking of defeating me, you're still far from it. He raised his right hand, his right arm flexing, pulling into a bow shape. Big brother, you've lost. Fang Zheng felt amused in his heart seeing Fang Yuan's raised fist. As long as he had primeval essence, even with the little light Gu's reinforcement, the moonblade could not break the jade color barrier, not to mention his fist. Unless he used the flower boar Gu or the brute force longhorn beetle Gu to raise his strength. But even so, he would need a defensive type Gu. Fang Yuan did not say anything, but he used his fist to give the most straightforward answer. The next moment, the right fist flew in the air and hit Fang Zheng harshly on the cheeks. Bam! After a loud crash, blood spilled as the jade light smashed to bits like broken mirror fragments dancing in the sky before vanishing. What? Fang Zheng was hit by such a shock once again, and after a stunned moment, his neck was almost broken as he hurriedly retreated. Fang Yuan followed up closely, using a bow step and raising his left fist, pulling back and striking again upwards. Bam! Fang Zheng's other half of his face was hit by the impact, his head rising high up with blood and broken jade light flying in the air. Bam, bam, bam! He took 3 steps backwards, his ears buzzing as a dizziness 10 times greater than before assaulted him. How can this be? His vision darkened and he collapsed on the arena. Plop! Fang Zheng fell on the ground, the light dissipating on his body as he fainted in the next moment. The shouts and cheers came to an abrupt end. The happy, excited expressions of the students were still glued on their faces, unable to change due to such a shock. The entire arena was silent. Fang Yuan's fists were bloody, to the point his bloody finger bones could be seen. Drops of blood fell and dripped on the stage. Swoosh! A cold winter wind blew, freezing away all the hot-bloodedness. Fang Yuan's hair wavered in the air as he stood still on the stage. It was almost as if the heavily injured person with both his fists almost crippled was not him. He looked coldly at the surroundings with a calm expression. Everyone was silent. In the tentage, the clan leader was still standing, staring dumbfoundedly. Sorry, I've let you all disappointed, Fang Yuan said lightly. On the stage, Fang Zheng fainted on the ground with no more movements from him. Fang Yuan, however, continued with his cold expression, standing in the middle of the stage. After a momentary silence, the crowds erupted. How can this be? Some people hugged their heads, revealing an expression of disbelief. 2 punches breaking the jade skin Gu's defense, this. Some people were tongue-tied. Too savage, even the jade light got smashed by him. Does he not feel pain? Some female goo masters took in a chilly breath. Without any defensive goo worm and using his bare hands to break the jade light, this is true blue self-harm. Even male goo masters' eyes twitched upon seeing Fang Yuan's hands and were shocked by his ruthlessness. Being ruthless to others, that is easy, but being ruthless to yourself, that is hard. Fang Yuan using his bare hands to break the jade skin goo's defense. It was not only savage to his younger brother, but even harsher on himself. "I'll go take a look." The academy elder could no longer stand it, and after saying so, he jumped onto the stage. He first squatted down and observed the fainted Fang Zheng, sighing in relief as he found that Fang Zheng was not in a critical condition. His head just had a huge impact, causing him to fall unconscious. Unbelievable, with the jade skin goo's defense, he still suffered such heavy injuries from someone using their bare hands. The academy elder was shocked internally, raising his head and looking at Fang Yuan, his eyes shining with a fierce light. "Fang Yuan, I'll heal you." The academy elder stood up, taking a few huge strides towards Fang Yuan and grabbing his forearm. Fang Yuan's arms were in terrible condition. Not only was the blood and skin vaguely mashed, even his bones were revealed. Because of the huge impact, there were also cracks on the bones. How intense this pain is, yet he didn't even frown a bit. Even if it was the academy elder, his heart shuddered seeing such injuries. His tone was complicated, saying to Fang Yuan, "Endure it, the healing is very itchy and also very painful." Saying so, his 5 fingers spread open and emitted a wave of blue moonlight. The moonlight got brighter and caused the academy elder's right hand to be translucent from the shine. At a glance, the academy elder's entire right hand was like a piece of blue jade. The blood vessels and bones were all turned into jade. The academy elder lightly raised his right hand and covered Fang Yuan's injured fist. It was just like a piece of cold jade touching on an injury that was mashed with blood and flesh. Fang Yuan felt a heart-piercing pain, but he gritted his teeth and did not make a sound. The academy elder's hand emitted gentle moonlight, and the moonlight nourished Fang Yuan's injured spot. On the bones, the cracks started to mend, and the flesh and skin started to grow rapidly and heal. Fang Yuan felt an intense itching, causing him to breathe heavily. The academy elder's expression was calm. While healing Fang Yuan, he diverted a part of his concentration towards Fang Yuan's arm and also inspected his aperture. In the aperture, the black-green-colored copper primeval essence was raging like waves in the sea. A white and fat liquor worm was swimming and playing in the primeval sea. The 4 walls of the aperture were all made of white-colored crystal walls. This showed Fang Yuan's rank 1 peak stage cultivation clearly. The academy elder did not look away, but continued to scan Fang Yuan's body. Finally, he found that on Fang Yuan's palm, there was the moonlight goo and little light goo. No other goo worms did Fang Yuan really use his own strength to break the defense of the jade skin goo. Such strength is far beyond a mortal adult. He is only 15 years old. How can he have such strength? The academy elder's eyes shone with suspicion. "Clan elder, thank you for your treatment." Fang Yuan took back his arm from the academy elder and shook it around. Although there was still some pain, the injury had already healed. If this was back on Earth, such an injury would have taken a year or 2 to heal and would even leave some serious side effects. This was the magical aspect of this world. Now that Fang Yuan's arms were healed, although he still felt like they were weak when he grabbed the air or waved them around, 7 or 8 days later, the strengthless side effect would disappear. But Fang Yuan was not grateful to the academy elder. His injury could also be healed by other healing goo masters, and he was well aware. The academy elder's motive was to inspect his aperture. Fang Yuan had expected this from the start, so he left the white boar goo and jade skin goo in the second secret cave. As for the spring-autumn cicada, with its rank 6 status, if it wanted to hide, even the rank 4 Gu Yue Bo would not find it if he inspected personally. The academy elder did not find anything, and that caused him to frown. Although he was still suspicious in his heart, but in front of so many people, he did not have the proper opportunity to ask. Fang Yuan, you performed well, continue working hard. Finally, the academy elder patted Fang Yuan's shoulder and declared loudly, this year's final exam, the first place goes to Fang Yuan. Ever since the academy elder's ascension to the stage, the audience watched quietly. After hearing his announcement, they started discussing fervently. To think that at the end, Fang Yuan had the last laugh. He's merely a C grade, but he beat the rank 2 Fang Zheng who has a jade skin goo. Did he cheat? Probably not, from the academy elder's personal treatment and probing. If he did not find any problems, Fang Yuan probably did not cheat. Fang Yuan's fists were greatly injured, that's normal. But as a 15-year-old having such strength that surpasses an adult by far, isn't it suspicious? What is there to be suspicious about? There are always people who are born with strange talents, either super strength or super smart. Actually, Fang Yuan's strength isn't that scary. Think about that guy. The speaking Gu master indicated at the standing Kai Shan. People were immediately enlightened. Oh yes. When Kai Shan was still a kid, his strength was already greater than an adult. Is Fang Yuan also such a monster? That has to be it. When Fang Yuan was young, he could make poems. Those poems were famous around the village back then. We thought he was in a grade, but he turned out to be C grade, but it seems heaven has other plans and compensated him with strength. He is still a C grade anyway. If he was B grade, he would be another Kai Shan. HMPH, nothing to be envious about. A Gu master's cultivation relies on their talent. If I can get a black boar Gu in the future, I would have even greater strength than him. That is nothing much. He can only be arrogant for a while. Some people shrugged, speaking unconcernedly. Fang Yuan walked down the stage, his eyes picking up the people's discussions as he smirked coldly inside his heart. The liquor worm's origin was already perfectly explained by Fang Yuan, but once the jade skin goo was exposed, Fang Yuan would not be able to explain it. Thus, he had to keep this secret and could not use it in public. As for these people's thoughts and explanations, it was the direction Fang Yuan wanted them to go. Or rather, even if the higher-ups were suspicious, they would only be suspicious of his mysterious backer. Half a year ago, I risked the danger and used the wild boar tusks to create a second layer of protection at the camp. It is finally coming into play. Fang Yuan's eyes were dark like the abyss. The Gu Yue clan leader did not sit down. He kept on standing and frowning deeply. This matter had developed out of his control. Fang Yuan getting first place, he did not really care much. It was just a year-end exam's first place. It was nothing significant. He was worried about Gu Yue Fang Zheng. Undeniably, today's impact was too great on Fang Zheng. If Fang Zheng was beaten completely from the start and lost the fight, so be it. But it just had to be at the point where he used his full strength and got a huge confidence boost, that he was sent sprawling by Fang Yuan's 2 fists. Such a psychological trauma might negatively impact his growth. Under my guidance and arrangement, Fang Zheng was the first to advance to upper stage, peak stage and rank 2 initial stage, continuously gaining success and confidence. But this confidence is probably gone by now. Sigh, my hard work has all gone up like smoke. Gu Yue Bo sighed deeply, naturally gaining a little sense of disgust and loathing towards Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan had lost to Fang Zheng, everything would have been perfect. But he actually won, that is too infuriating. Not only the clan leader, but the other clan elders were also full of solemn and complex gazes. Fang Yuan's strength is actually so huge, Is he really a monster like Kai Shan? Actually, he was strange from young, making poems when he was younger than 10. So his strength getting larger as he grew up is nothing strange. But there is another possibility, and that is human action. Fang Yuan has a mysterious backer. Maybe the backer assisted him. But the person behind him, who could it be? The clan elders' hearts were overturning, but their expressions said otherwise. Clan leader Gu Yue Bo went silent before revealing a smile, saying, Fang Yuan getting first place with a C-grade talent, this is an unprecedented grand feat. Becoming first place, you have 100 primeval stones as reward and also Gu Worm choosing priority. Now, I shall reward you further. You can choose any small group you want and join it. Regardless of the group, whichever one you want, just say it and you can join. Upon saying so, all the rank 2 Gu masters and students stared at Fang Yuan in envy. Small groups had their differences too, and joining a good group meant a bright future. Gu Yue Bo's reward was very generous. Although I made this decision on the spot, I believe the clan elders here would agree with me. Gu Yue Bo smiled even more intensely, looking at the clan elders beside him. With Gu Yue Kai Lion and Gu Yue Mo Chen as the head of the clan elders, all of their faces were grim and some even frowned, but no one stopped him. Fang Yuan's heart jumped. Trouble had come.